It's okay.
It's not here. Have your gavel. Good.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are ready to begin this evening's board meeting. The school board meeting of May 11th is now called to order. The time is 6:07. We would like to take this opportunity to remind the members of the public of the district mission, which is to ensure that each student achieves his or her highest personal potential, and the district mission to be a world-class school system. This evening's agenda includes the invocation, the Pledge of Allegiance, 2 acknowledgements, 3 recognitions, public comments, consent action items, which include 9 items under academic services, 4 items under business services, 1 item under human services, 1 item under information systems, 5 items under operations, 3 items under attorney recommendation, which is good cause. Mr. Bruno and Mr. Quick, please provide an explanation for these 3 items.
Thank you, Madam Chair. One of the good cause items under attorney recommendation is the approval of the agreement with Scott Cashman, who will be the consultant to the board during the interim superintendent process to assist the board for May and June of 2021.
Thank you. As presiding officer, I find there is good cause to add these 3 items to the agenda and 4 items under other business. Board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Madam Chair, Mr. Quick is not here, so I will just add his good cause item, which was the recommendation for the agreement with HR and Beyond.
Thank you.
And I'm sorry, may I ask, did you mention the webpage as a good cause?
As presiding officer, I find there is good cause to add these 3 items to the agenda.
2 items, Madam Chair, and the website will come under good of the order.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Board members.
Hold on, if I may. I heard 2 good cause items. Aren't there 3? There are 3 in my agenda online.
Mine too.
The first was the approval of the agreement with HR and Beyond, and the other is the approval for referral of specific complaints for investigation. That was also a good cause item.
Mr. Bruno?
So I'm going to defer that to Mr. Quick because those will be his good cause items.
Thank you, Mr. Quick. You're here. Thank you.
Yep, I understand you did the first one with regard to the HR and Beyond. I apologize. The second one is a good cause item for the approval of referral of specific complaints for investigation to that investigator with the specific complaints listed in the item.
Okay, thank you. As presiding officer, I find there is good cause to add this item to the agenda as well.
So I'm sorry, Madam Chair, can you tell me how many there are altogether then?
Total of 3. And 4 items under other business. Board members, is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Ms. Vaughn?
I move to adopt the agenda as published.
Thank you. Second? Ms. Morgan, thank you. Please record your vote.
Mine is taking time. I can do it. Oh, here it is.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Okay. Ms. Patrica will introduce her guests for the invocation, after which Ms. Gittens will lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Ms. Patrica, please introduce your guests.
Pastor Kevin Bussey is the student pastor at Next Level Church, located at 12400 Plantation Road in Fort Myers, Florida. He is originally from Lakeland, Florida. He has been leading in ministry for 12 years. Pastor Kevin is married and has 4 daughters. He is expecting his first grandchild soon. Congratulations. Please welcome Pastor Kevin Bussey. Everybody stand, please.
If you please just close your eyes and bow your heads for me. Father, we love you. And Lord, we just come to you tonight, Lord, and I just pray, Lord, that it's heavy on my heart tonight, Lord. I pray for wisdom, and I pray for peace, Lord. I pray for wisdom for the board members, Lord, as they sort through the things that are on the agenda, Lord. I pray for wisdom from those that are here in the audience, Lord. I pray for wisdom for our schools and for our school principals. And Father, I just pray that tonight, Lord, that there would just be peace. I pray, Father, that you would just be in the center of everything that takes place tonight, everything that is said and everything that is done. But Father, there's so many decisions and so much weight that is on each and every person on this board and that leads this county. And so, Father, I just pray for wisdom for them tonight. And so, Father, we thank you for tonight. We thank you for who you are, and we thank you for your son, Jesus. And it's in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Ms. Gittens, please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
On the flag. Oh, there it is. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Okay, the character word for May is patience. The quote, "Patience is not the ability to wait, but the ability to keep a good attitude while waiting." Joyce Myers. The design you will see displayed on the screen was created by Graciana Gold, a 11th grade student at Estero High School. And before we move on to the acknowledgements, I was wondering if Mari Kamor was here? Made it in yet? Or Emily Tanner? Okay, these were 2 of our student advisory committees that were supposed to come and help us out today. And I just wanted to say too, I know that people were looking, we were allowing students in. The students that I was bringing in are students who are going to be receiving awards today for their accomplishments. And then we will have a short break so that they may leave with their families, and then we will continue on with the meeting. Thank you. So, Sedona, thank you for helping me out with this today. Let's see. On this evening's one of the evenings, you are now, the student representative from the school board student advisory committee is Sedona Stewart, an 11th grader at Bonita Springs High School, where she takes an active role in the Bonita Springs High Tabletop Gaming Club, participating in various clubs and activities. Sedona serves on the Bonita Springs High Environmental Club. Sedona currently has a GPA of 3.74. Sedona is most proud of running for, turn the page, a spot as a teaching assistant on the FGCU class, News Literacy. Welcome, Sedona. Also, I want to say she is one of our, you made the secretary, so she's the secretary for the Student Advisory Committee for us, and thank you so much. She is going to read 3 resolutions this evening, for one that she was supposed to read for us, and then 2 for her fellow board members. Please, thank you.
Whereas there are approximately 5,800 instructional employees in the Lee County School District who are strongly committed to a quality education for our students, and whereas the contributions of teachers and substitute teachers are immeasurable, helping form the framework for lifelong learning in all students, and whereas these educators fill the roles of listeners, explorers, motivators, role models, and mentors to our youth as they strive to keep American democracy alive by laying the basic foundation for good citizenship, and whereas teachers impact the lives of their students throughout their school years and continue to influence them when those school days become memories, and whereas all students, parents, and community members are encouraged to recognize the value of teachers and are urged to pay special tribute to them every day, now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Lee County, Florida, hereby proclaims the week of May 3rd through 7th and Tuesday, May 4th, 2021, as National Teacher Appreciation Week and National Teacher Day. Adopted at a regular meeting of the School Board of Lee County, Florida, this 27th day of April, 2021.
Thank you. And your next one, hon?
Whereas in 2006, President George W. Bush proclaimed the 31-day period of the month of May as National Jewish American Heritage Month, originally known as Jewish Heritage Week under Public Law 96-237, passed by the United States Congress in 1980, and whereas we recognize the more than 360-year history of Jewish contributions to America and the American culture, and whereas we celebrate the contributions Jewish Americans have made to America since they first arrived in New Amsterdam in 1654, and whereas the Jewish Americans played an active part in the War of Independence, in the settlement of the West, and in the dynamic expansion of American technology, and whereas their diverse communities made significant contributions in the areas of medicine, education, trade, the law, politics, the labor movement, religion, motion pictures, athletics, literature, and whereas Jewish Americans' heritage of struggle for freedom, knowledge, and human dignity are a part of the inheritance of all Americans, and whereas the values and ideals brought to these shores by people of many races and religions are woven deeply into the fabric of America, now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Lee County, Florida, hereby proclaims the 31-day period of May 1st through May 31st as Jewish American Heritage Month, adopted at a regular meeting of the School Board of Lee County, Florida, this 27th day of April, 2021.
Thank you, Sedona. You have one more?
Whereas the United States Congress passed Public Law 102-450 in 1992, which designated the 31-day period of the month of May as National Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, whereas we celebrate the culture, traditions, and history of Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders and their contributions made in completing the Transcontinental Railroad, and whereas we recall the challenges faced by Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders and celebrate their great and significant gifts given to our society, and whereas the Asian American and Pacific Islander immigrants contributed significantly to the history of American nation building and westward expansion of our country, and whereas their diverse communities built strong roots in the United States and retained cultural heritages that stretch across the globe, and whereas Asian Americans and Pacific Islanders have played a significant role in the creation of a dynamic and pluralistic America with their enormous contributions to our science, art, industry, government, and commerce, and whereas their successful integration into American society and their positive and active participation in our national life demonstrates the soundness of America's policy of continued openness and growth. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Lee County, Florida, hereby proclaims the 31-day period of May 1st through May 31st as National Asian and American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, adopted at a regular meeting of the School Board of Lee County, Florida, this 27th day of April, 2021.
Sedona, I just want to say I thank you for representing our students in student advisory and here today, so thank you for that. Moving right along, acknowledgement for the month, we have National School Nurse Day, May 12th, 2021, National Missing Children's Day, May 25th, 2021, National Military Appreciation Month, May 1st through 31st, 2021. And today, we also have the opportunity to bring back our recognitions that we have not done for a year, so this is a good day for having everyone here at the board meeting, so thank you. I am going to have Mr. Lee Hughes, if you would please take the podium at this time for the 2020 Invention Convention, U.S. National Winners. And Ms.
I'm reading it.
Vaughn will be reading that. Thank you.
5 Southwest Florida students that competed in the 2020 Thomas Alva Edison Regional Science and Inventors Fair were finalists in the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals 2020 last July, including, and I am really sorry, I don't have a phonetic pronunciation.
Deruva.
Say it?
Deruva.
Deruva, okay.
Sharma.
Thank you. I got the Sharma. Deruva Sharma, an 8th grader at Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. During the awards ceremony, 63 outstanding students were honored for their ingenuity at the National Invention Convention presented by Raytheon Technologies. Our region's Invention Convention finalists were among nearly 500 award-winning K-12 inventors from across the nation who were celebrated during the virtual awards ceremony. In total, 120,000 K-8 inventors from across the United States competed at local affiliate events last year. While all 5 students from Southwest Florida represented our region well on this national stage, 1 student was recognized for his outstanding STEM achievements with two national awards. Deruva Sharma was recognized twice during the Invention Convention U.S. Nationals 2020 awards ceremony for his energy-generating shoes invention. He received the Innovation in Energy Award presented by Chevron Corporation, a specialty award that included a $500 scholarship, trophy, and personalized certificate. Deruva also received the Young Visionaries Award, presented by Koch Industries, a Best of Show award that included a mentorship experience, trophy, personalized certificate, personalized virtual experience to advance invention, and Young Visionary Lab coat. Deruva's Best of Show award was one of only 6 Best of Show awards presented during the competition. The board members and superintendents are pleased to recognize Deruva Sharma on his truly world-class STEM accomplishments and thank him for representing the school district of Lee County so well at this national competition. Please welcome Deruva Sharma.
Okay, Ms. Morgan, Dr. Atkins, Ms. Stevenelli, will you please go down front? Ms. Stevenelli. Everybody smile. Good job, buddy. She's going to be reading some more. You can stay there. You can stay if you want. Okay, we have the 2021 Sunshine State Scholars. That's Ms. Giovanelli.
Yeah, that's mine.
The Sunshine State Scholars Recognition Program for high school students began in 1997 to recognize excellence in mathematics and in science. It has since evolved into a program designed to recognize Florida's top high school science, technology, engineering, and math STEM students and recruit them to pursue their post-secondary education in Florida. Throughout September and October each year, every school district selects their top STEM 11th grade students based on established criteria. Recently, the Lee County School District was pleased to announce the Fort Myers High School student Amy Meng, North Fort Myers High School student Cassandra Katia, and this year's Lee County Sunshine State Scholars, David Lau, and Dunbar High School's Zoe Zing for Fort Myers High School were named as this year's alternates. In June, our Lee County Sunshine State Scholars, along with their parents, will travel to Orlando for a 2-day program. There, they will receive recognition for their achievements, talk with STEM industry leaders about careers and internships, and meet with representatives from Florida's colleges and universities to learn about programs of study and available scholarships. The school board and superintendent are pleased to recognize Amy, Cassandra, and this year's Lee County Sunshine State Scholars, as well as David and Zoe as this year's alternates. We are proud of the accomplishments these students and wish them the best in all their future endeavors. Please welcome, and excuse me for saying if I say the name wrong, so I want to make sure I say that, Amy Meng, Cassandra Makia, David Lau, and Zoe Zhang of Fort Myers High School. And then I didn't name the schools, but Dunbar, Fort Myers, and
Good job, kiddo. Next, we have the 66th Annual Florida State Science and Engineering Fair winners, and I believe that's Ms. Fisher?
Yes, ma'am. The 66th Annual State Science and Engineering Fair of Florida was held virtually from March 30th to April 7th, 2021. Of the 19 students from Southwest Florida that participated, 3 students from the School District of Lee County received high honors. Curricula Surya Fernando, a 7th grader at Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, received a first place category award for her junior division Earth and Environmental Sciences project titled, hold on guys, Microplastic Interaction in Aquatic Primary Consumers, Potential for Biomagnification. In addition to her first place recognition, Curricula Surya also received 2 special awards and a nomination for the 2021 Broadcom Masters, the premier science and engineering competition for middle school students. Dhruva Sharma, an 8th grader at Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School, he's coming back again, received a first place category award for his junior division microbiology project titled Protective Efficacy of Masks in Preventing the Spread of COVID-19. In addition to his first place recognition, Dhruva also received a nomination for the 2021 Broadcom Masters. Next is Mason Huffman, a 7th grader at Trafalgar Middle School. who received a first-place category award and was named one of the 4 Junior Division Best of Fair Grand Award winners for his biomedical and health sciences project titled Assessing Mass Efficacy with Laser and Sound Transmission. In addition to his first place and best of fair recognitions, Mason also received $500 Dr. Nelson Ying Scholarship and nomination for the 2021 Broadcom Masters. The board members and superintendent are pleased and proud to recognize and congratulate Kurakura Surya, Fernando, Daruva Sharma, and Mason Huffman on their truly world-class STEM accomplishments, and thank these students for representing the school district of Lee County so well in this state competition. Please welcome Mason Huffman, Trafalgar Middle School.
Good job, buddy. I think your teacher wants a picture. Teacher's trying to get a picture of him.
And next, Kurasulia Fernando, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School. And finally, welcome back Daruva Sharma, Paul Lawrence Dunbar Middle School.
Thank you. These kids are amazing. You know, let's give a round of applause again. At this time, we're going to take a brief recess so that those who wish to leave may do so. Again, thank you, parents, for bringing them and doing what you do.
Yes, way to go. Great job.
Okay. We will go ahead and continue. The next item on the agenda is public comment. Mr. Bruno, please address the item of public comment.
Thank you, Madam Chair. School board policy provides the opportunity at this point in the meeting to address the board concerning any matter on this meeting's agenda or any other matter relevant to the operation of the school district. If you completed a blue card, please put it in the basket provided. If you need a card, they're located in the hallway outside of the boardroom. The rules concerning public comment are posted in the back, and public comment will be made from the central microphone in the back. Please be advised that the board does not respond during public comment to remarks made by speakers. At the end of the public comment period, the board chair, Ms. Jordan, will address concerns or the assignment of any concerns or requests to the superintendent. Speakers and those attending the meeting are expected to act in a respectful manner. The purpose of public comment is to provide feedback. Personal attacks on individuals or abusive language are prohibited. In addition, clapping, hissing, and booing, unreasonably loud and/or offensive language, swearing, cursing, or a display of temper are prohibited. Speakers who fail to follow proper decorum in the chambers will be ruled out of order. Any speaker continuing with such remarks will be required to relinquish the microphone per Board Policy 1.11 and may be removed from the chambers. There will only be one warning. Per Board Policy 1.11, the time per speaker will be 1 minute. The maximum time allowed for public comment is 1 hour. You will find a countdown on the big screen in the front of the room. Once your time has elapsed, the microphone will automatically shut off. We encourage you to address the board as a whole versus individual board members as they act as a collective board. Please state your name prior to making your comment. I will call your names 5 speakers at a time. Please follow the staff's direction when lining up. Madam Chair, we have 42 speakers that wish to address the board this evening.
Thank you. Is there anyone here on the left side, my left, that has not, that wishes to speak, that has not filled out a card? Is there anyone on the right? And I don't believe we have anybody in any rooms this evening, is that correct? Beautiful, that's beautiful. Okay, Ms. Giovanelli?
Yeah, okay, so there's 42 speakers. Okay, in the past, and I've thought about this a few times, 42, that's only 42 minutes if at 1 minute. Before, our other board attorney, Mr. Martin, would give 2 minutes. So how does that doesn't equate right? I mean, really, they should have more than a minute at the 42, maybe a minute and a half or something. I don't see why that can't be accomplished with 42 speakers.
Mr. Bruno?
Board Policy 1.11. I'm going to pull it up now. Board Policy 1.11, subsection 5A3 states specifically, if there are more than 30 individuals desiring to speak, the maximum amount of time each individual is allowed to speak shall be 1 minute.
Okay. Try, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to make sure that everyone does have an opportunity to speak, so I don't want to run out of time for that. Is there someone else? Mr. Bruno, can we continue or?
At this time, will the following individuals please line up? Rachel Dwyer, Robert Roper, Annie Filkowski, Rin Alajaji, Crystal Sison.
I'm sorry, hon.
Can you pick the timer on?
Mr. Bruno? I want to make sure that Ms. Rachel can start speaking without interference. So it's.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Ms. Dwyer, you may start.
Rachel Dwyer, Lee County resident, mother of 2. To the LGBTQ community, opposition does not equal hate. Bullying is never okay. We should come together to ask the school board to evaluate funding for mental health resources. Actions have unintended consequences. As human beings, your voices are important, but if we allow policies to undermine parents, it will have negative consequences long term. It's hard enough raising kids in this day and age. Our tax-funded school should not go against parents' wishes.
Robert Roper. Just since this current student code of conduct was approved, it has emboldened the LGBTQ plus students and faculty, while at the same time have intimidated staff and students that do not agree with those life choices. I personally know to be a fact. The student fearful to speak up, faculty along for a terrifying ride. Don't believe me? This is actual photographic evidence from within a class of 4- and 5-year-old students in Lee County Public District Schools. The picture depicts what looks to be a class project. Families, 2 moms, 2 dads holding an infant, another 2 moms. This is not education. It is indoctrination at best. Some would consider it child abuse. Education in Lee County takes place in an atmosphere where sexual preference is king. The short and long-term results of this social experiment may have devastating effects on the students of Lee County. 4- and 5-year-olds. This is not right.
Where's the time? Oh, okay. Hi members, my name is Annie Fulkowski and I use she, her pronouns. I'm a proud alumni of the Lee County School District. I'm here to ask you to do your job. Protect our most vulnerable youth. Keep the one-pager. Create an LGBTQ student-led advisory council, since school board members here have shown an unwillingness to do their homework on this issue. Call me crazy, but if you are elected to the school board, you should be required to do your homework, especially when it comes to our most vulnerable youth. It was frightening to hear Member Patrica. She asked, what are the ramifications of not following a federally mandated guideline? Why are you doing mental gymnastics to not be inclusive? I know you're a lawyer, but I really recommend taking a refresher class or 2 with one of the amazing government teachers at Fort Myers High School, who taught me the basic foundations of law, government, and inclusivity at a very young age. Lee County is legally required to protect and meet the unique needs of LGBTQ youth, including transgender young people. Removing these guidelines does not remove the responsibility.
Thank you. Thank you. Will the following individuals please line up? Christine Divigelli, Kale Kopek, Nancy Terreri, Denise Nystrom, Christina Mays.
Go ahead, hon.
Good evening, members. My name is Rin. I use she, her, hers pronouns, and I'm here in support of my wife and my chosen family, who are alumni of the Lee County School District, found a safe space between the walls of those classrooms, and fostered a community for themselves in those spaces. Why is it so controversial to equip students with basic understanding of their federally protected civil rights? Why is the school board gatekeeping educational material? The Equality One-Pager does not take away anyone's liberty. It simply affirms and gives LGBTQ youth theirs. I'm here to ask you to keep it in the Code of Conduct and also create a student-led LGBTQ advisory committee that supports our queer youth instead of bullying them back into fear and the closet. Thank you.
I'm Crystal Siscon. I'm a member of the Equity and Diversity Advisory Committee. I'm here today to speak to the allies on this board. It's time for you to use your voice. It's time for you to get loud. We do not hear you. It's time to speak up for the LGBTQ+ community and to not cave to fear. It's fear of tomorrow. It's fear of not being re-elected. I want to remind you that you're an elected official on the dais today. It's time to use your powers now. Do not allow outside influencers in fear of the potential of losing this power one day stop you from using what power you have today. This is why you were elected, to fight for equality and stand up for those children who need you. You were not elected to dance for the whim of a mob, and you certainly were not elected to allow Collier County to dictate whether or not the student code of conduct in Lee County needs to be changed from the most progressive in Florida to outright discrimination.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please.
Restart that for me, please. I'm going to need every second. Thank you. All right, my name is Christine Divigelli. I'd like to start by saying that I don't agree with item G6, and I'd like to know what the name of the Washington state-based company is that Lee County School District has entered into an EOS agreement with. I'd also like to thank Ms. Gittens for the superintendent search webpage that she worked on for the community. It was super easy to navigate, and I really appreciate seeing all the links I need in one place. What took place in the special meeting the other day was the most embarrassing display I have seen from the 7 of you to date. Board members spoke out of turn, interrupted others, interrupted the chair, and the only time that we heard that anyone was out of order was when the attorney corrected a member of the public. You all need to do better. I would, however, like to thank the only 2 honest board members up there. You at least tried to do the right thing on Friday. I'd only ask that in the future, when you have to vote for something that you don't agree with, please vote no, even if you're the only one. I'd like to end by saying once again that the selection and hiring of an interim superintendent falls within the job description of the Lee County School Board, and the hiring of a consultant to help facilitate conversations is ludicrous and a waste of money. Thank you.
My name is Kale Kopek and I am in 8th grade. It has been 505 days since I was last in a classroom with other children. Because of a mask policy, I have been attending virtual school for over a year. I am tired of staying at a screen all day while my friends can attend school but wear a mask. If people like to wear masks, they feel like they should be protected, they can, but that doesn't mean we should all be held by a standard where we have to wear a mask because the people around us are. This needs to change. You guys want us to feel protected when we step on the school campus, but we feel like we need to worry if we are 6 feet apart or if our mask is over our nose. This policy singles out the kids who either can't wear a mask or the ones who just don't want to. There shouldn't be a policy where I have to wear a mask in order to attend school. You guys need to take this into consideration and end this policy now.
Denise Nystrom, Lee County resident. The school board will vote tonight on entering into an agreement called Equal Opportunity Schools, an organization that is supported by Bill and Melinda Gates and the Bezos family, to name a few. It is an agreement between Lee County and a Washington state-based organization that is costing the school district $255,000. The concept is that it's supposed to assist low-income and students of color with high advanced placement and international baccalaureate classes. I know people of color who are offended by this. I would expect that the school district should already have in place programs that support all students. I know that we already have AP and IB classes in place, and I question why those programs, and if we don't, I question why those programs do not already exist. So if we don't already have those programs, take the $255,000, and if our students need more help, then set up programs that they can be helped by, instead of entering into a critical race theory curriculum.
Will the following individuals please?
Us all to be quiet back here, and we have been.
Excuse me, you're out of order, ma'am. You're out of order. You're out of order. At this time, will the following individuals please line up? Chris Quackenbush, Tara Jenner, Greg Monk, Francis Haas, Lisa Cohen.
Ms. Nancy.
Hi, I'm Nancy Terreri. I'm here again tonight on behalf of myself and Lee County Now. I'm here to encourage the school board once again to keep policies that protect our LGBTQ community and our children. That these policies should be widely shared and respected. That means that having these policies available, readily available, and best practices as represented currently in the Code of Conduct. If there's going to be any change, we should not be taking away what is in the Code of Conduct without replacing it with something that very clearly states what these rights and protections are. I would also encourage you to create a student-led LGBTQ advisory committee. Everyone deserves to be treated fairly, and I think the board and the school has tried. I think that they have to continue to do so and work at this.
Thank you, ma'am. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Christina Mays, and I'm the mother of a transgender child in Riverdale High School. I come here to speak today on behalf of all the children who are bullied by adults. Sorry, I didn't mean to cry tonight. I have an 18-year-old child that is afraid to use the bathroom, even though there is a stated policy that she's allowed to. Have any of you who are against this ever laid your eyes on, seen, or sat down and spoken to a transgender child? If I was to put a picture of 20 children on the wall, Could you tell me who was transgender, who was gay, who was straight? No, you cannot. Most of these transgender boys, as you call them, are afraid to have short haircuts, are afraid to wear pants, are afraid to wear t-shirts like you do because you would think they were a boy. You see me, I'm cis. Do you know I get questioned for using a girl's restroom because I'm a tomboy? Do you know what it feels like?
Ms. Christine, could you please address us, please? Thank you.
That's all I ask is for you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Tara Jenner. The justification given yesterday for the continued mandatory masking through July 1st was based on a TALC bargaining agreement. That MOU and Board Policy 1.181, entitled Emergency Requirement for Protected Gear, are in direct conflict with one another. The board policy states the purpose for the PPE is medical and safety reasons only. Further, it states that the procedures or guidelines regarding PPE shall expire as soon as the State Department advises, among others, that PPE is no longer recommended and required. The Florida Surgeon General did just that in a public health advisory dated April 29th, and he rescinded the 4 previous COVID-19 public health advisories as well. Your policy dictates automatic expiration of mandatory mask usage without the need of board or superintendent action, recommendation, or vote. You can't hold Lee County School District hostage because of a problem of your own creation with TALC, for which we are not even a party.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
I'm Chris Quackenbush, and I have a mask freedom resolution. I can only read half, but it is based on what you heard from Tara. Yesterday, Superintendent Atkins revealed that the only reason we still have a mask mandate is that Mrs. Pruitt made an agreement with the unions to maintain mask mandates until July 1, 2021. This is on the video of the board workshop dated yesterday, Monday, at hour 2, minute 58. Whereas the board policy 1.181 specifically states the only purpose for masks is medical and safety, we find the side agreement of the union is not an acceptable reason for extending the potential adverse consequences to our children of wearing masks, especially in the summer heat of Florida. Whereas school board policies must be followed and people treated fairly without exception and without arbitrary bias, whereas the board policy 1.181 declares the policy.
Ma'am, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Lisa Cohen, Lee County. No parent should have to cry because of their children being bullied. No parent should have to be upset because of a bathroom that is used. No parent, these are just human things. They have to use the restroom just like they have to breathe. And I shouldn't have to deal with my crying child because he doesn't want to wear a mask. It is 90 degrees outside and it is May. It is going to get warmer. The governor told you to close the schools and you did. The governor told you to open the schools and you did. The governor told you to put masks on the children and you did. Now the governor has told you to take the masks off the children effective immediately. And an executive order, your boss. I'm your boss, he's your boss. Listen to your boss. I pray the blood of Jesus over this board.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Will the following individuals please line up? Heather Newbert, Emma Newbert, Kathy Stout, Daniela Dye, Corey Dye.
Hello, board. My name is Francis Haas, and I've been a 20-year resident of Lee County. I have 2 current and 1 former students going to the Lee County School District schools. I'm here to support transgender children. You are all educators, or you work for the Board of Education here. I am a healthcare provider, and I know that we use what's called best evidence practice, and I urge you to do your research to discover what is best for our trans children. safe attendance in school is vital for their development as children. I'm very honored that I was here to see our scholars receive these awards today. And one day you're going to have a transgender student up here to receive an award like that, and you don't want to
Thank you,
alienate
sir.
them.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
My name is Greg Monk, and I am a Lee County resident. I want to thank you for your policy supporting LGBTQ students. And for parents on both sides of the aisle, I can really appreciate the desire to protect your children. I really can. I can tell you that as a gay man, 40 years ago when I was 14, it was a terrorizing place to be a student. It was really a horrible situation, and I'm so grateful that we are doing what we can to support our students now. For those who prefer the word preference over orientation when it comes to behind the word sexual, I will tell you that I would have preferred at that age to be straight, but that wasn't biologically in the works for me. And for those who understand the concept of terror, let me tell you, there's absolutely nothing worse than being dismissed by your teachers, your parents, and all because you can't be who they tell you you're supposed to be. So, thank you.
Hi, my name is Kathy Stout, Lee County resident, also children in Lee County School District. I want to thank everybody here to come out this evening and voicing all of your opinions. But if you don't mind, I'm a happy person, and being that, I am doing something. Please. You are part of my 22,000 pictures, and why? Because I love seeing smiles, and I like to do events, and I also am a realtor as well. I love people, and I love Florida, and most of all, I love our governor, especially the fact that we live in this freedom, and besides that, I don't know, I'm happy. I hope all of you can be happy, because we live in Florida, and we should be in the Sunshine State and be happy. So again, cheese. Have a blessed night.
Hi, my name is Emma Newbert, and I am 7 years old and am in first grade. I'd like to ask that you take away the mask policy. It is hard for me to breathe, and it gives me headaches. I miss seeing my friends' faces and smiles. It makes me sad a lot. Wearing the mask makes it hard for me to learn, and it makes me not want to go to school. I used to like PE and recess, but it is too hot outside and I can't breathe when I play and run. Please let me breathe freely and take away the mask. Thank you.
Please, even though she's really cute.
Thank you. My name's Heather Newbert. That is one of our children crying. She can't breathe in her mask. This is what you are doing to our children. They're crying, they're depressed, they're exhausted, they hate school. Is that video what you want? Is that audio what you want? I interviewed a nurse at a local private school yesterday that's been mask-free since the beginning of the school year. They have almost 650 students, staff, and faculty, and share buildings and other meeting spaces with a large church. And guess what? No major outbreak, not once, ever, the whole year. It was a fourth grader here and a 10th grader there. No super spreader situation. There's no class quarantining, masks are optional, and sports are in full swing. How can you possibly look at that and think they got it wrong and you got it right? I hope tonight, when you guys are sitting by yourselves, you hear that audio, you hear our kids crying, you hear our kids telling you they can't breathe, and think about what you're doing and the decisions you're making.
Will the following individuals please line up? Daryl Slack, Kathy Horn, Tim Dews, Dr. Joseph Weiss, Willie Fifowski.
Corey Dye, Active Citizens. I think it's so great to see all these successful Lee County LGBTQ people through your life prior to identity politics. Everybody has a rough childhood. There's parts in every individual's life where we hate ourselves. Everybody has that. It's not synonymous to you, right? People have hated me because of the color of my skin. On that, I don't support your G6. My children are not white people's charity case. No one. If you want to do a program, do it for a community. If Dunbar needs something, if an area of low-income people, but specifically targeting African American children is bullshit.
Excuse me,
Cut
Mr.
it out.
Dye.
Don't do it.
Mr. Dye.
That is the legal word in the dictionary.
Thank you, Mr. Dye. Thank you, Mr. Dye. You're out of order.
As I share the children, I share the concern. G6 does not provide a realistic solution for our children, and it's a political-based program that we don't want to have in our school programs at all for any of the children. The Head Start COVID grant, or we have funds that are being approved today for the Head Start program out of COVID policy again, and it is not a COVID program. We don't need to use COVID funds for the program. Stop misappropriating funds. Consensus should be done at the board. It should not be done as was recognized by a speaker yesterday that said that she would gather consensus from individual conversations with school board members, and that's not what the consensus is supposed to be for or how it's supposed to be used. I don't understand how the adult code of conduct that we're approving is 16 pages and we need over 90 pages for students. That's ridiculous. That's too many words. Keep it simple. We can sit there and simplify things, go back to having 3 levels of punishment instead of the 5 would be great. I want to know where the grants, gifts, and requests.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Kathy Horn. I'm from Estero. Is this the one working? Or is it this one? This one. I'm from Estero. Please, could you start my time again, please? Because I had the wrong microphone. And thank you. My name is Kathy Horn. I'm from Estero, and I'm speaking specifically to the school board members tonight and the administration, and I want to thank you all for understanding that we don't choose to be gay, transgender, and non-binary any more than others choose to be straight. The process to accept how God made us can be eased with support and love from family and friends and schools. On the other hand, anger and religious condemnation from those we love, especially our parents, destroys us. That becomes the largest reason we have a higher rate of depression and suicide. Thank you for recognizing that those who have spoken angrily against us are a primary reason we struggle. Angry words hurt, and they hurt children the most. Schools must support all children, but they must offer more support to those who need more, especially those that aren't supported at home. And I ask you to notice who comes to these meetings in love and kindness, and who comes here in anger and condemnation, and let that be your guide for what is best for children in Lee County. Thank you for all your work.
Good evening, school board members. My name is Tim Dews. I'm a lifelong gay man, and I've lived in Lee County for up to 25 years. I'm here to support the school's best practices, action steps, and the student code of conduct. It is being challenged by groups, even though it's covered by existing law, Title IX. Being LGBT is difficult at best and tragic in many situations. Absolutely all students, no matter their sexual orientation, deserve a quality education without bullying and harassment or discrimination. So if you don't like the colors on the logo or the logo itself, eliminate that. It's important not to let yourselves be bullied by these groups. Never give in, never give up. Please protect the children and give them a rewarding education with dignity and respect. Stand up and stand out. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Willie Filkowski and my pronouns are he, him, his.
I attended Gateway Elementary School, Dunbar Middle School, and Cypress Lake High School Center for the Arts. Shocker. I'm here today to speak in support of my LGBTQ siblings, especially my trans siblings, who are currently being targeted by so many anti-trans efforts all over the country. To the members of the school board, please keep the LGBTQ guidance in the code of conduct, and please form a student-led LGBTQ advisory committee. While I was at Cypress Lake High School, our motto was, you will learn here, you will grow here, you will amaze yourself here. Today, I direct that message to the adults in the room. Please listen to the queer youth who bravely dare to be themselves. It is your job to educate them and keep them safe. And if you listen to them, you will learn here. You will grow here. You will amaze yourself here. And to the queer youth who can hear my voice, please tune out the haters. You are perfect and beautiful, and the haters have small hearts, bad motives, and unbelievably ugly shoes.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Will the following individuals please line up? Jane Menorit, William Burke, Arielle Hoover, Dee Roa, Julian Roa.
Hi, my name is Daryl Slack.
Just wait for the timer so you don't get slighted in any way.
We restarted it.
Yeah, we're going to start it.
Other mic? There it is. Now I hear me. My name is Daryl Slack. I'm a parent of students in the Lee County School District. I think my shoes look fine. I won't be insulting anybody else. I want to ask you to take out the part in the code of conduct that we're all here to talk about. The change was passed in secret under parents' nose. I don't think it was done above the water as it should have been. It's inarguable that LGBTQ rights are very important. They matter. They matter to everybody. And if that's not in your heart, then you're not on my side. But so are cis children's rights. It matters. This is being turned into a civil rights movement. This is not Selma. This is not the Little Rock Nine. This is not what this is. This is just another example of political correctness being disguised as inclusiveness and tolerance and common sense and a sense of fair play being cast as hate. And that's not what's going on here. Caitlyn Jenner, she's a trans woman and she's an athlete. And she has come out flat out and said, it's not fair. It's not fair to girls that have worked their whole lives to compete in these sports to be taken out by what is biologically a boy.
Sir, thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hi, my name is Joseph Wise. I'm a Florida retired school superintendent and a Florida resident, and I'm here tonight to talk about something that's of supreme importance in terms of timing. I'm fully dedicated to a company called Acceleration Academies. We work in 4 states to recruit high school dropouts and other disengaged children back to get their regular high school diploma. I applaud you all, by the way, all of this hard work. Unless you've sat in one of these seats, Dr. Adkins, or members of the board, it's thankless work, and especially in this unprecedented times. And we appreciate you spending now in our 3rd year vetting us as a potential partner to help you recruit, at present, more than 16,000 young people who are disengaged and dropped out. You completed, I think, due diligence today. We hit a curveball last week where someone said, well, maybe this should be a charter. We think that's the wrong way to go. Time is of the essence, and we're hoping that that matter can get to the board for action, up or down, so that we can have a chance.
Next speaker, please. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Jan Manwright. I'm a longtime award-winning advocate. I'm a winner of a PBS Makers Award in 2015. I'm executive vice president of a nonprofit. I'm a Christian and I'm a mom with a Fort Myers High School graduate. I'm asking you, will you stand up for one more year for 3 things? Number 1, kids at high risk for suicide. 2, best practice policies already in place. 3, the truth. Kids at high risk for suicide. The largest survey of transgender and non-binary youth says that more than half seriously consider suicide, yet support and acceptance is associated with a dramatically lower risk of attempted suicide. Dr. Amy Green. 2, best practice policies. Have you ever written any? If so, you know that they involve data research, expert advice, and peer review. If you're going to drop this best practice policy, which other ones will you drop? 3 is the truth. We know that the world is full of lies and misinformation now.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi,
My name is Arielle Hoover. I'm a resident of Lee County, and I'm here to tell you that my family and I support keeping this policy as it is. I think we need to support and have help all students, regardless of their sexual orientation, feel safe and supported in our school system. When I was a teacher in Dallas, Texas, the kids used to wear a bracelet. What would Jesus do? And Jesus loves everyone. And I think it's up to us to practice that too. Thank you very much.
Good evening. My name is William Burke. I'm a resident of Lee County. And I was born here in Lee County, right down the way in Lee Memorial on 41. And we are born how we are. Gay, straight, bisexual, transgender, Hispanic, white, black. But we are not born with prejudice. That is taught to us whether we wish to admit it or not. It is our responsibility, everyone in this room, to stand up to prejudice in whatever form it may take. Transgender children exist, and they wish to be accommodated thusly. Are we in favor of liberty and privacy, or are we not? If you're against the board's policy, consider how much these children feel with all these grown adults making such a big deal about, again, a child using a restroom. Accommodations are handled on a case-by-case basis, the parent, the child, and the site's principal. That's all. Thank you for your time.
Will the following individuals please line up? Joey R., Lori Fahey, Deanna Walker, Joe Roa, Lou Navarra.
Good evening. My name is Dee Torres Roa. I'm a mom. I'm here today to ask you to please allow in-person 5th grade graduations. According to my son's principal, the district pandemic team decided against this. We have missed so many precious moments of our child's last year of elementary school. High schools with 1,000 graduates were approved for indoor graduations at large venues with limited guests. Why can't we impose those same conditions for the smaller 5th grade class, or even hold the graduation outdoors? Impose conditions such as social distancing, maximum amount of guests. Ultimately, I believe this decision should be the board's, not a pandemic team. The majority of elementary school teachers have worked so hard to maintain safety and follow all protocols while teaching class. Graduation is a time for these teachers to showcase all their hard work. This year has been very trying on the mental health of our kiddos and for many the financial well-being in their homes. Give them a light at the end of a long dark tunnel. I ask you to please give the kids a real 5th grade graduation. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julian R., and I am a 5th grader. I would like a face-to-face graduation because me and my whole class have worked so hard getting our grades up majorly, and I would also like to have my parents there to see all my achievements that I earned this year. And my teacher is a really great teacher, and I know my teacher would be really happy to see our faces when we graduate. Thank you for letting me speak.
Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Deanna Walker, and first I'd like to say that I do not approve of the hiring of a consultant to do your job. That's what we hired you for. That shouldn't have been done. Also, during the day when we were all at work. I know you guys like to place blame on others, so I wanted to let you know that on April 29th, the Florida Department of Health, the Surgeon General, rescinded all previous COVID-19 health advisories, including the recommendation for social distancing and mask wearing, stating, continuing COVID-19 restrictions on individuals with no end in sight, including long-term use of face coverings and withdrawal from social and recreational gatherings, pose a risk of adverse and unintended consequences. This is what we're doing to our kids. It is an unintended consequence. You didn't know what to do in the beginning, and now we know it doesn't work. Also, the Florida Department of Education.
Next speaker, please.
Hi, I'm Lori Fahey. On the briefing meeting today, I was pleased to see that you were talking about some of the audits. Ms. Patrica said she's protecting the taxpayer, but it's the tax-paying volunteers who blew the whistle on the Booster Club. The audit evidence was clear. RSM agreed. What needs investigating is how the investigation was done and what the process was. Or is it a matter of fraud? My son wanted to come and speak tonight, and he was not able to, but he has been working his own campaign at Cypress Lake High School to get rid of the mask wearing and make it optional. And he says our students should have the choice to wear a mask or not in schools. We're no longer in.
Thank you. Next speaker, please. Thank you. Next speaker.
Good evening, board members. My name is Joey. I'm a high school student with a little brother in 5th grade. When I heard that he would not have an in-person graduation, but rather a Zoom graduation, I knew I had to say something. These 5th graders have not been allowed to fully experience their final year of elementary school. I remember when I went, we got to go on field trips, and it was just an enjoyable time, as it was our last year of elementary school. He has not been able to experience any of those things. Do not rob them of this monumental stepping stone in their academic lives. Do not rob the parents of watching their child walk across the stage for the final time as an elementary school student. Board members, if there's a will, there is a way. Thank you.
Thank you. Will the following individuals please line up? Brenda Burnell, Ruth Perez, Amanda Nagy, Crystal Varvey, Pedro Aranz,
My name is Jose Rua. I'm a lifelong Hispanic, a resident of Lee County. Studied here and graduated here. I have an issue with the policy that you guys have passed. I have no issue with the LGBTQ teams. I think everybody deserves respect. I teach my kids to defend and stop bullying from anybody. My favorite aunt is gay, actively, and she's married, and she's my favorite aunt. That being said, it's not the board's responsibility to pass policies that are going to infringe upon parents' convictions. That's what we have our homes for. Hispanics make up 22% of the population in Lee County. There's a growing Muslim population here as well. We have to make sure that if you guys want to be voted in and stay in power, that you represent what parents want for their children. Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir, did you have a card? Or could
Yes,
you
my name was Joe Roa. Yes,
Joe
ma'am.
Roa, okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
They put Geronimo or something on there.
Okay, thanks.
I'm cooperating tonight. Don't start my time. I want to wipe the mics. COVID-19, folks. You think it's over. Lou Navarro, retired teacher. Congratulations, Dr. Atkins, on your impending retirement. I'd like to see the half-a-cent sales tax meeting like Duval County. I sent the board that. I think the crappy rule of 1 minute is crummy. You should stay here 5 minutes for everybody. Even if you meet till midnight, we pay your salaries, board. And see, everybody comes out for all this, but not for the $4.8 billion budget. Use my half-a-cent tax to redo the bathrooms for everybody. LGTB, the works. COVID-19, I'm sorry, folks. The CDC said wear masks today. Apparently you don't read AOL News. You just shoot from the hips. And that's a shame. Marvelous Marvin said you're missing 2,000 hours a week, board. You don't tell them about the subs. And you didn't budget the money for them.
Thank you, Mr. Navarro. Next speaker, please. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Brenda Bernal. I have 2 boys in public school.
I would like to suggest to the board that it's necessary for parents to be involved in the next election for the next superintendent. It is necessary that the parents who have children in this county make the best decision for this generation. That's why we need to know the candidates and their proposals to make the wisest decision, in whose hands we are going to leave our children for more than 5 hours a day. Please involve the parents in this decision.
Hi, my name is Ruth Perez, and I'm the current educator in Lee County. I just wanted to voice my opinion that we should be included, just as she stated, all of us residents in Lee County, to be a part of the voting for our next superintendent. I know I personally will be affected by it. Just take that into consideration. My job runs on what the superintendent decides for the schools, and I just think that with that, since all of us have our opinions, we should be allowed to share it with you guys in making that decision. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Amanda Nagy, and I have 2 children currently in the Lee County school system. I have one who will be entering next year. She is 5 years old, and it terrifies me to know that she may have to wear a mask. If we don't drop the mask mandate now, please, as elected officials, someone that I voted for, please consider at least making it a recommended or something that we're able to choose for our children as of the school year next year. I just wanted to also say that only 7% of communication is verbal. 55% of communication happens with your mouth. With your mouth, seeing your mouth. What are we doing to these kids when we can't see each other's facial expressions? Their social emotional intelligence has been hampered. And we sit here and continue to require children who are in a population.
Thank you. Will the following individuals please line up? Dan Severson, Angeli Vasquez, Victor Constanzo, and Erica Gehrig.
Ooh, thick one as well. Sorry about that. Apologies. My apologies, I was just wiping this down real fast. My name is Pedro Arauz Jr. I lived here 27 years, for close to 27 years. I'm pansexual and Hispanic. So let me tell you, I'm just going to cut straight to the point. It is terrible to be told that you look funny, you sound funny, you have curly hair, and you can't love who you want to love. That leads to very difficult psychological treatments. And also, just to the point of the parents try to dictate policy, last time this happened, I would assume Little Rock 6 wouldn't have happened. You know, if the parents weren't allowed to, weren't dictating policy to the school board and the federal government didn't step in, I believe we still would have segregation in this place. At the same time, if the parents had their way in Wyoming, well, Matthew Shepard will still be 6 feet underground right now. There's a lot of people that get hurt, whether it be their color of skin or who they love. Either way, it's upon the...
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, Crystal Vervate here again. I almost decided not to come because I'm speaking to you at a disadvantage. I am just a parent. I am not part of any special interest groups, and most importantly, I am not part of the teachers union. And that puts me at a big disadvantage because that seems those groups are the only people that you listen to. The CDC has, or the teachers union has influence over the CDC more so than science does. I've spoken about the masks, I've spoken about the policies, but the one thing I'm here to ask is, why is there such a lack of transparency? Why are you spending $250 an hour to hire a consultant to narrow down a pool of 3 people for an interim superintendent? Can't those tax dollars be used for better purposes? So I'm just asking, just think about how you spend the money, spend it wisely, and let's do something about transparency. Thank you.
I'm Dan Severson, citizen in the county. Part of my goal to get inculcated in the county here is to kind of come to functions like this and find out what's on the heart of people. And there are a couple things that are very poignant that came out tonight. One of them is the pastor that talked about the 4 and 5-year-olds being indoctrinated into a different lifestyle than the parents were even aware of. That's a huge problem. It's a problem for our school board. The other problem, I believe, is for the school board is the whole mask mandate issue that we're hearing a lot about tonight. And deals have been made, and those are not based on science the way they quote them to be. Okay, so when I'm watching these young, brilliant kids coming up here, getting their awards with a mask on, and everybody up front has a mask on, there's no chance that everybody's going to get COVID from this incident. And when they look at it in the past, they're going to go, I was robbed. I was robbed, and young kids in our schools are being robbed now because of this illegitimate mask mandate.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Hi, my name is Angeli Vasquez. I'm an alumni of the school district. I also have a 3rd grader in the school system as well. Last time I was here, it was a lot more wild and rambunctious. Pretty much every time that somebody came to speak and talked about the rates of suicide that occurs in LGBTQ youth, there were people jeering, scoffing, like, enough already, like, we know, which kind of serves as an indication as to who is at risk here and who is the antagonizer here. No kid is gonna put themselves in a position to receive the kind of vitriol that adults are willing to supply simply to cause a disruption. We have the ability to ease the suffering of children, and I don't understand what kind of mother would say no to that. There is nothing wrong with a 5th grade understanding of faith and religion, as long as you're in the 5th grade, or a 5th grade understanding of biology and science, as long as you're in the 5th grade.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Hello. Hello, my name is Victor Constanta. I'm in the 6th grade. I enjoy my school, but the community in the bathroom is not enjoyable. I would like more attention to the bathroom as it is not sanitary. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Erica Gehring. I live in Lee County. I have 2 children in your school district, and I also want to talk about these bathrooms. My daughters are not able to use the bathroom during the day, and they don't care which bathroom. They just want to go to the bathroom. While the mask mandates are being in place and the social distancing, the teachers are limiting the ability for children to use the restroom. So my children don't want to drink water during the day because their bladders get full, and then they can't get a bathroom pass to. This is really unhealthy on a few levels. We can argue about the science with the mask and the bacteria and the moisture, and does it even get the viruses out of the air? No, it doesn't. We can talk about that. We can talk about the scientific studies that communities that had masks have no difference in their COVID transmission rates. But can we please let our children use the restroom of their choice? Thank you.
Madam Chair, that concludes public comments.
Okay, thank you. Well, I think I'm going to start with Victor. Thank you for coming and speaking regarding the bathrooms. I really appreciate that. And perhaps we can find out what school you're at, and we'll see what we can do with that, okay? Thank you. Brenda and Ms. Perez, there was a couple others. I was trying to pay attention and write at the same time. Regarding the superintendent, we definitely will be putting that information out there. We want the involvement of the community, and we will definitely be discussing that. Everybody is important, even the mother who said, I'm just a parent. You're just a parent, you're important as well. So we definitely want the feedback of the community and of the different associations. So we will be going out there, getting a lot of information from you and having conversations. Let's see. Again, everybody who comes here, we really appreciate all of you who walk in the door, who come with your concerns, your comments. We do hear what you say. As far as the student code of conduct, we are looking at the student code of conduct. We will make sure that every child is protected, regardless of who those children are, because we need to make sure that no child should ever have to go to school and wonder what is going to happen to them. That's not going to happen. We need to make sure that that is taking place, always. The mask, a lot of people came and spoke about the mask. I appreciate that. I personally hate wearing the mask myself. I'm always getting sinus infections, so I get it. My grandkids are the same way. They don't care to wear them either. But I am going to ask Dr. Atkins to speak on that, and Ms. Dupree Bruno to speak on the mask policies. So if you can shed some light on that, I would really appreciate it.
Hey, Madam Chair, as you know, I did send a memo yesterday regarding masks. The first thing I think is important, we did have a parent that mentioned making decisions about next year. I did make the recommendation that next year masks would be voluntary, and that is in alignment with, I think, what has come down from the state. They have been good partners with us this year, so I appreciate that guidance, but that is, I do believe that that gets us out in front of that, so parents can make decisions about whether or not they're going to send their student to school next year in a face-to-face model, knowing that is voluntary, unless there's some dramatic change over the summer that would cause the board and the interim superintendent to make a change as a result of an increase in the pandemic. The other issue in terms of what we are doing right now, there's a couple different things that are germane to the issue. One is health and safety of our students. I think we've done a very good job. Our students have done an outstanding job, as our teachers and our administrators, in making sure our kids are safe and following our protocols, including masking. And as a result, we have been able to be one of the few districts in the nation that has been able to open face-to-face from the very first day of school. We've been able to work with our partners at Department of Health to make sure that we do contact tracing and everything to keep as many kids in school as possible, despite some of the quarantining that we have to do. I think we've been very successful at that. We're coming up on graduations. We are in the middle of testing, and I just think for health and safety reasons, we should stay the course. However, it was also mentioned the memorandum of understanding with our associations. They were a big part of this decision-making, as were many, many partners within our community, including parents, including medical professionals that have made these recommendations. And as a result of that, we did enter into a memorandum of understanding. That is a binding matter. That is not just something that I can unilaterally change. That is an agreement between the board and the associations. And as I did mention yesterday, there have been ongoing discussions, but at this point, one party or the other can't unilaterally change that agreement. So it's for those reasons why in this memo we're recommending staying the course. But again, I think focusing on the future and looking at how I don't like wearing masks either. Anybody who knows me well knows that about me. And I think that applies to probably just about everybody. But at this point, I just think it's prudent. We've been successful. We got graduations coming up, testing, a lot of important things that we don't want to have an issue with. And then, of course, the memorandum that I mentioned.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins. And then also, Ms. Dupree Bruno, could you please, regarding the memorandum, could you please share what exactly that is and how that affects us?
So really, it's exactly what Dr. Atkins says. The Memorandum of Understanding is a contractual agreement between the two parties, the unions and the board, and basically they negotiated an agreement so that teachers would come back to work at the height of the pandemic so we can open up schools, and these were part of the terms that was negotiated so teachers can come back. We do understand that there's been some changes, and we continue to evaluate those changes, but we do have a contract in place at this point that will expire June 30th. So that's exactly what Dr. Atkins said.
Okay, and then I'm just going to ask you one more thing. If we were to violate the memoranda,
well, it's not ever a good idea to violate any contract, because there's always all kinds of consequences, from teachers deciding that they don't want to go to school to teach, to all kinds of other types of damages. So we do have to be very careful and honor all of the contracts, especially when you're dealing with a union. You do have to respect the terms of your agreement that you have with the particular parties. And then, Madam Chair, there are 2 speakers that did not have an opportunity to speak. They were here on time. They did fill a blue card out, but for some reason, those cards were put in with the blanks. So I would like to have an opportunity for those 2 speakers to speak.
I think that's a great idea. Yes, thank you.
You want me to go ahead and call them?
Yes, please.
Okay. Well, Kathy Michaels and Jason Jones, please come to the microphone.
I came from Illinois, and I have 3 children. My oldest is 47, and he's gay. He was born gay, and the other 2 were not. I have a niece that's married, a doctor, and she's gay. It's 2021, for crying out loud. It's not 1950. It's not 1970. It's 2021. Everybody deserves the right to freedom. They deserve the right to be respected. And I'm sorry, listening to some of the people that, I've been around gay people who have been married with children. It is not child abuse to have other children around those families, for crying out loud. And I'm sorry about the mask, but my 2-year-old granddaughter wears one and does not cry.
Thank you. It's
Jason Jones. Jason Jones. Does not appear he's here, Madam Chair.
Okay. Not coming in? Okay. And then also, and I think that Dr. Pruitt maybe I just seen her walk out with Miss Erica regarding the bathrooms, because I want to make sure that that's taken care of as well. And whatever bathroom she was speaking about for her kids, I definitely want to make sure that to find that solution for the child. If those kids cannot go to the bathroom, they need to be able to go to the bathroom. So, but I did see her walk out with them. So if you could just maybe follow up with that, that would be great.
Yeah, I will. Madam Chair, I don't know if you want to make this clarification. I think there's also been some confusion about the governor's order as it impacts local municipalities.
Yes,
and I think
please.
we have to make it clear as to why that order doesn't apply to our policy. I'm not an attorney, so I would turn to one.
So
that's what I had asked.
That's an important distinction. So the governor's order that came out, the executive order that came out, does not apply to school districts. It only applies to municipalities. The Surgeon General's order is something different, but the governor's order itself is not applicable to school districts, and school districts can continue on with their policies until the June 30th date. And just also for clarification, the commissioner's letter, Commissioner Cochran's letter, applies for next school year, not this school year. So next school year, the advisement from the Department of Education is that masks be voluntary, not mandated. And as Dr. Atkins indicated, the Lee County School District will be doing the same thing, where masks will be voluntary and not mandated pursuant to the Department of Education.
Thank you, Mr. Preborno. And then, Ms. Erica, I see you're back here. Did they get your information regarding? Okay, thank you. Just want to make sure that that's. Okay, so again, I thank everybody again for coming in here, and please, continue to come and let us know your thoughts. We get hundreds of emails a day. We do read them. Sometimes we're not able to get right back to you, but we are looking at, I know I personally read all of them, regardless of what day it is, I'm reading them. So continue to share that information with us. Moving on to the next is the approval of the consent action items. The documentation for action items listed under consent is made available to board members 7 business days prior to board meeting. We are expected to review all of the materials, and we have an opportunity to speak with the superintendent with any questions we may have regarding the recommendations. Some of these items have also been briefed or workshopped with the board in advance of appearing on the agenda, on the action agenda. Board members, are there any agenda items you wish to pull for discussion under unfinished business, tabled items, portion of the agenda? Ms. Giovanelli?
I have one, G6, the approval of the collaboration agreement with Equal Opportunity Schools.
Thank you. Ms. Patrica?
No, thank you.
Ms. Fisher?
I have none at this time.
Ms. Gittens?
Yes, I have one, H3.
H3. Okay, Ms. Vaughn?
I have none.
Ms. Morgan?
I have none.
And I have none. Is there a motion to approve the agenda consent action items with the exception of pulled items G6 and H3?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda with the exception of G6 and H3.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. May I have a second? Ms. Morgan, thank you. And please record your vote. Ms. Thomas, I still can't see that.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Okay. We have 2 pulls to address. Dr. Atkins, please read your recommendation for the pulled item G6.
Yes, Madam Chair, approval of the collaboration agreement with the Equal Opportunity Schools to provide support and assistance to school leadership at the district's 15 high schools. Agreement provides continuation of the work that was started 2021 for 21-22 school year.
Thank you. Is there a motion to adopt Dr. Atkins' recommendation? Ms. Morgan?
I move we approve the collaboration agreement with Equal Opportunity Schools.
Thank you. A second? Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Okay, it's been moved by Ms. Morgan, seconded by Ms. Fisher. Any discussion? Ms. Giovanelli, if you will.
Thank you. I actually did some research on this, and after receiving numerous calls on this today and some emails, this is, first of all, in looking at I asked for a syllabus and I did not receive it or an outline. I received some information, but the information really pertains to high school. And I believe by the time high school gets around, if kids aren't achieving, they're already in big trouble. It's already too late for them. We need to be helping our elementary students and our students in middle school before it becomes a crisis. In high school, it's just too late, and they wind up dropping out or not graduating or getting a special diploma. So I think that considering this kind of agreement and what it actually involves is another issue. I think it's got a political agenda behind it in reading it, and I don't want it to end up like the LGBTQ poster that happened when parents didn't have stakeholder input. I think we weren't really briefed on this. It was kind of just a little bit workshopped, and there was no real information substantive I want to see the data and how successful this program is. And it's a little bit fly by night for me, and I don't think it's enough information for me to support it at this point in time. I think if we can get some more information, I might be more in agreement to this, but considering everything that I read today on some information that was sent to me, causes me to have pause. Thank you.
Okay. Are there any other questions, please, or comments? Ms. Vaughn?
Yeah, I feel like I need to comment on this because I initially was going to pull this item. I did have actually, Mr. Simmons and Ms. Kennedy sought me out to talk to me about many concerns that I had about this, and actually my concerns were more what we weren't doing as a school district. Just to recap, things like something that Ms. Giovanelli already mentioned. As a 38-year teacher, I know that what she says is true. You need to, let me say this, let me back up a minute and say that we absolutely need to get more of our low-income students, our minority students in our advanced classes. I have a lot of experience with this. I'm going to go back to when I was teaching at Estero High School, my AP classes and the 1 year that I taught ACE, very white, not a whole lot of minority students in that class. When I was teaching at the other end of the spectrum, same years, reading, that's where I saw the Black, the Hispanic, the low-income students. So it is an issue that we need to deal with. I don't doubt that. I have some misgivings about this particular program because the way that it operates. First of all, it seems like it's kind of cherry picking courses that students may be interested in to pull in more of our kids that are not enrolled in more rigorous. Again, as I said, I think a program needs to start in middle school. One thing that I talked with Mr. Simmons and Ms. Kennedy at length about is teacher training. Now, this is why I'm still not 100% on this particular program. However, they assured me, so here it is out there on tape, that teachers were being trained and that we were starting this summer. Is it enough? I'm a little wavering on that. That our middle schools were beginning, finally, to have some advanced coursework, to have a successful program that vertical planning with rigorous courses starting in middle school is just absolutely necessary. We talked about some of the ways that in middle school, for instance, do talent search, and there are other ways, other tests that can be given to a whole grade level to find students that might be overlooked, because often, and this is a very sad fact, but there is a, if you have a teacher in a room, and I really hate to put this out there, but it's true, it's in the research, and you have different students from different ethnic backgrounds, have different looks, have different kinds of clothes on, and this would also include if they're dressed in a grunge style, or if they're dressed, I don't know, none of the kids wear ties or anything, but you know what I'm saying, that teachers do make judgments. So the unfortunate fact of life is we do have some students, because of their ethnic, racial background or their socioeconomic background, may be overlooked. There's a lot of other things that we discussed. I told them, and I'm not going to go back on my word, since, well, because I don't do that. I told them, all right, I'm going to hold you to this. And I am going to hold them to what they told me about the additional training and saying, yes, we want to build rigor for our best and brightest kids. We want all our kids to succeed. And it's not right to some of our kids that their talents, their intellectual talents, are not being nurtured. They're not being discovered in time. And so to wrap up what I'm saying, I will support this, but it's one of those supports that I'm counting on what I heard today to be true. So I don't want to be disappointed and learn that what I heard is not being enacted. So that's how I feel about this.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Dr. Atkins?
Chair, I want this board really to be comfortable around this issue. I sense there is some concern. This is a very, very important matter for this school district. We do, as many school districts across the nation, have difficulty making sure that our students that have the ability to do high-level, rigorous work are identified and allowed that opportunity. That's an issue, and this is an endeavor, I think, to try to improve that within this district. But I also believe that we have efforts that are ongoing in elementary and middle school, that it may be a good educational opportunity for this board as we move this issue to the forefront and try to get you a little bit more comfortable with this particular agenda item, to also have the opportunity to talk about what are things that are happening at the elementary and the middle school level, so that we do have more of our students identified and prepared to do academic work of great rigor, way beyond what they are sometimes enrolled in. I think this is an issue. I have said it in the past, particularly at the middle school level, but our team has taken steps there that I think, again, would be good for the public and for this board to hear a little bit more about. And in the meantime, I think hopefully make you a little bit more comfortable with this issue. I hear Ms. Vaughn and Ms. Giovanelli, and so I sense there is some concern, and rather than just pushing forward, we do have the time to step back and provide you with a little bit more information. So I'm perfectly willing to do that because I'd hate for us to continue to get into a lengthy discussion when we can bring this back at a time and have a more focused discussion on this whole issue.
Thank you. Ms. Gittens?
Yes, thank you for that, Dr. Atkins. But what I wanted to say was, it's my understanding that the staff has been meeting with the company, and there has been training going on and planning and all of that going on for a couple of years. And my question is, why haven't we been briefed on it previously, unless I missed something? I also received many comments and concerns and all from the community. I personally am not against the program itself, but it gives me a bit of angst in thinking, is this, we have access to so much data and so much information about our students, and maybe I'm looking at it too simplistically, but can we not pull that data and find out which students are within this range and take care of their needs? We're data-driven, data every day, and data pulled from here and there. I don't understand, unless it's a systemic problem that is not being recognized by certain administrators, counselors, or whatever, then that's our problem to educate them about what they should be doing for all children. Whether we're, paying amount for it, $255,000 for it or not. To me, it's just something that should be done for all children. And I talked to some administrators, and the interesting thing was, a couple of them said, yes, it should be done kind of automatically as something we do, but they were concerned that it wouldn't be done. And that's a frightening thing for our culture to admit that. So I'm just thinking, we haven't had a briefing. We should either table it or something. And I know what you said, Dr. Atkinson. I appreciate that, because I think we don't have enough information. And it also boils up in me that, what are we doing without the aid of outside company?
Thank you. Ms. Morgan?
So did I hear you say you're withdrawing your recommendation?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, I just wanted to make my comment.
So officially, Ms. Morgan, are you withdrawing your motion, obviously? Since you're withdrawing your motion. You made the motion to adopt the recommendation.
You have to withdraw.
You're withdrawing the motion.
I withdraw the motion.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Atkins.
Thank you. Okay, the next item, the next pulled item, Dr. Atkins, could you please read your recommendations for pulled item H3? And
Yeah, just let me get there.
this is
I
the approval of the
apologize.
monthly budget.
I hit the wrong button on the, Part H3.
Yes, please.
Approval of monthly budget report for the period ending March 31st, 2021.
Okay, and do I have a motion to adopt Dr. Atkins' recommendation?
I'll move to adopt Dr. Atkins' recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. And may I have a second? Ms. Vaughn, thank you. Okay, and is there any discussion? So, Ms. Gittens, I believe that was your poll.
Yes, I am not against the budgets basically as presented. My concern is the section on portables purchased, leased, and constructed. I have asked several times for information, and thank you, staff, I have received some. And each time we get information about the portables or relocatables, it's a different format, and we have to decipher what's what. I still do not have the information about individually what is the individual cost to lease or to rent a portable per month, and some other questions that I have had. When we get a budget that just has the total budget numbers, I'm a little leery about it because if I vote for this tonight and something else comes up about this, I'll just be told that you already voted for it. So for that reason, until I get all the information that I feel I need and the public needs to see, then that is why I'm pulling this item, because I will not be supporting it without documented information.
Is there any other discussion? No? Okay, so there's no other discussion. I will then call for the vote then, and this is a hand vote for us to move forward with Dr. Atkins' recommendation. So can I have a hand vote for those who approve?
H3.
H3.
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Giovanelli?
I'm trying to decide. I support it.
Thank you. 6-0. Thank you.
Madam Chair, it's 6-1.
6-1. Motion carries 6-1. Okay. Oh, a lot of pages today. So we have no administrators. Attorney's recommendations. So, Ms. Dupree Bruno?
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first one is the approval of the agreement with Scott Cashman as a consultant to the School Board of Lee County in facilitating the interim superintendent hiring process effective May 12th through June 30th, 2021 for a cost not to exceed $5,000.
Thank you. You have heard the attorney's recommendation that the board approve the agreement with Scott Cashman, MHA, FACHE, DBA, Healthy Team, Healthy Business, LLC, as consultant to the School Board of Lee County, Florida, and facilitating the interim superintendent hiring process, effective May 12th, 2021 to June 30th, 2021, for a total cost not to exceed $5,000. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Patrica?
Move that we approve Attorney Dupree Bruno's recommendation regarding a consultant.
Thank you. May I have a second? Ms. Morgan? And discussion. Ms. Gittens?
Yes, I will, drone on. I still, nothing against what Mr. Cashman or the process that you all have decided. I still maintain that I feel this could have been handled differently, so I will not be supporting this.
Okay, is there any other? Ms. Giovanelli?
I am not going to support this at this night. It has nothing to do with Mr. Cashman. I just don't think we needed a consultant to make a decision. So at this time, I won't support that either. Thank you.
Okay. Any other comments? Okay. And again, I just want to say that this was something that we all agreed upon at the board table together. So it wasn't us or them, it was all of us. So I just wanted to clarify that as well. So if I,
may I please make
oh,
a statement?
please.
Thank you. I have to be very honest. I find it offensive when someone changes their mind on the board, gathers more information, and decides that perhaps that is not the best way to go. And to always be reminded that, and that's what I meant when I pull the other, because I will be told, well, you voted on it. And I just don't think that that's necessary. A lot of my colleagues continue to say, well, it's something we all voted on. Perhaps so. I have changed my mind because of further information.
No, everyone has, and I want to clarify that as well. We all of us have the opportunity to change our mind. It's just when it's stated that you all have decided, we need to make sure that we can change our mind, but we have to own the fact that we, at one point, it was a collective thought process that we did do that, and then we definitely can come back and change your mind. So
It's
I
just an
want to make sure
unnecessary
that that's.
comment, in my opinion. Thank you.
Ms. Vaughn?
Yeah, I'd like to clarify that although Mr. Cashman is down as a consultant, the term, if you look at the proposal, facilitating, and I emphasize the word facilitating, there were a couple speakers and there have been a few emails also that I've read that indicate that we as board members are abdicating our job because we're hiring a facilitator to tell us what to do. That cannot be further from the truth. And I know those of you who know me, you know that the facilitator's not going to be telling me what to do. I'm going to be making up my own mind. And we have 6 other very independent board members up here, and I feel like they will also be. One of our discussions here on the dais had to do with 2 issues that involved staff fulfilling this role. One was the idea that they may not be objective, and the second was that was brought up that staff members might be put in awkward situations in making decisions or comments, that sort of thing. So I'll be honest, I had my doubts about this. I don't think the meet individually with board members as needed is really necessary, but I think we will be helped as a board to stay on task when we have an objective, professional facilitator helping us over a few bumps. So hopefully that clears up the misinformation that this person in any way, shape, or form is going to be telling us what to do on this.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Mr. Pre-Bruno?
So, board members, after hearing the discussions that you've had yesterday, and in my discussions with Mr. Cashman, after you instructed me to go ahead and start negotiating with him, if you'll note on the Exhibit A of the contract, which outlines the scope of work, you will see that there is some difference in the language that is used upon my discussion and negotiations with Mr. Cashman. So it's very clear at this point that is facilitating the interim superintendent hiring process, and everything in the scope of work at this point also says help to facilitate the discussions to assist the board. So all of that was changed. In addition, with regards to meeting with the board, we changed that as needed, as requested, or as necessary. And there's nothing here that is a project of Mr. Cashman to do on his own. Everything is with regards to the facilitation of the discussions to assist the board. So that language was changed.
Thank you. Is there any other discussion? Ms. Giovanelli?
And so that's just it, $5,000 for someone to speak for us. That just seems ludicrous, and it shows how dysfunctional this board is, because I know there's board members here that thinks we need this because we can't function properly as a board. And so I go back and forth because no offense and all due respect, but Ms. Jordan, you just basically, we have an issue with bullying on this board, and you actually just bullied Ms. Gittens for changing her mind. And we all need to be respected at this table, and that is our problem. I don't think the facilitator is going to fix that at the tune of $5,000, unfortunately. So I, again, will not be supporting this tonight, and that has nothing to do with the facilitator. It just has to do with this board in general. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Giovanelli. And to clarify, I am not bullying anyone. I am just speaking when we are hearing that some of us have come up with a decision when it was all of us. I just want to make it clear, because when people are sitting up here and they're speaking, everybody's out there hearing what we're saying. So if you only hear one side, that's what you're going to hear. That is not bullying, by no means. So I just want to make sure that we are getting all the story out. Ms. Giovanelli?
It is when you actually talk bad about what someone changing their mind, and they have the right, everyone has the right to change their mind, and that's the whole problem why everybody comes here about the LGBT. They have the right to speak their mind, and the others have the right to speak their mind. And we, as a community and society, we want to cancel everybody out because we want everybody to think like I should think. And that's not the way it works. We need to be respectful and listen to what others say and take it that with, if you want, so be it, a grain of salt or whatever, but we still need to listen and hear. And that's all I'm saying. And that's what's going to happen with the facilitator, is he thinks he's going to be able to maneuver us along, and I don't think that's going to happen. And I think it's going to be a waste of $5,000, and at the end of the day, we're going to get whoever the person that set this up gets to begin with. They're going to get who they want. It's not, we're not going to have a say, because it's always driven by a agenda and someone else's agenda, not by a board's agenda and 7 people making that up together. There's always somebody maneuvering to make it happen for their agenda. And that's just the way it is. But we don't need to be bullying somebody from changing their mind. That's all I'm going to say, and it's happened numerous times.
Thank you, Ms. Giovanelli. And Ms. Gittens, if I offended you in any way, I do apologize, because I never want you to feel that I am bullying you or anybody else, so I do apologize.
May I answer? This was not the first time that that's happened. It happens all the time. And it happened in a meeting recently. And again, I was chastised about changing my mind by several board members. And my comment is, if that's the way you feel, it's an unnecessary comment to make. If we have a motion that's on the table, obviously we talked about it and people can see who voted for it. That's public comment. So it's just an unnecessary thing to say. That's all I'm saying. I accept your apology.
Chair Jordan, at this point, if we can go back to the motion that's on the floor and discussions that are germane to that motion, so that, because I know there's 2 other motions that we need to do that are attorney recommendations, and then there's good of the order.
Thank you. So could we please, I will call for the vote then. This will be a hand vote? Or
I'm
is it
sorry,
going to be
this is on.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Madam Chair, motion carries 5-2.
5-2, thank you. Okay, Mr. Bruno, is this yours or?
Mr. Quick.
Attorney Quick?
Yep. It's recommended action is approval of the agreement with HR and Beyond to provide external investigations as directed by the school board with a not to exceed amount of $40,000. This agreement shall terminate automatically upon completion by HRB of the services required by this agreement, or 1 year from the effective date of this agreement, whichever is sooner. And I will go off script just a little bit. There's one Scrivener's error I wanted to point out that will be corrected in Roman numeral paragraph 14 under venue. It will indicate Lee County, not Broward County for the venue. I apologize.
Okay, thank you. You have heard the attorney's recommendation that the board approves agreement with HR and Beyond to provide external investigation as directed by the school board with not to exceed the amount of $40,000. This agreement shall terminate automatically upon completion by HRB of the services required by this agreement, or 1 year from the effective date of this agreement, whichever is sooner. Is there a motion to approve?
I make the motion that we enter the agreement with HR and Beyond to work with the school district of Lee County as authorized to create focused investigations, gather detailed facts, and analyze the evidence and produce a final investigation.
Thank you, Ms. Gittens. May I have a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Fisher, thank you.
Thank you.
And any discussion? No discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, I will then ask for the vote. Please record your vote.
Motion carries, Madam Chair, 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Okay. Mr. Quick?
Madam Chair, the next one is, this will be a little bit longer. Approval to refer specific complaints for investigations as follows. Number 1, Lighthouse Incident Number 20000362294, full investigation by HRB, which is Human Resources and Beyond. Number 2, whistleblower complaint, full investigation by HRB. Number 3, Lighthouse report number 903-132-021-4882, full investigation by HRB. Number 4, Lighthouse incident number 20000408849, for further investigation as discussed in the briefing meeting. Lighthouse incident 200003897, also for further investigation. Number 6, Lighthouse case number 200045508, for further investigation as discussed. Number 7, Lighthouse case number 200044618, for full investigation by HRB. Number 8, Lighthouse case number 200039306, full investigation by HRB. 9, Lighthouse case number 903-142-021-4882, full investigation by HRB. And finally, number 10, Lighthouse incident number 200048126, directing me to refer the matter to the State Attorney's Office.
You have heard the attorney's recommendation that the board approves to refer specific complaints for investigation as follows. Approval to refer specific complaints for investigation as follows. 1, Lighthouse incident number 20000362294, full investigation by HRB. Number 2, whistleblower complaint, full investigation by HRB. Number 3, Lighthouse report number 903-132-021-4882, full investigation by HRB. Number 4, Lighthouse incident number 20000408849, for further investigation. Lighthouse incident number 200003897, for further investigation. Lighthouse case number 20000455508, for further investigation. Number 7, Lighthouse case number 44618, full investigation by HRB. 8, Lighthouse case number 200003936, full investigation by HRB. Number 9, Lighthouse case number 903-142-021-4882, full investigation by HRB. And number 10, Lighthouse incident number 20000482126, referred to State Attorney's Office. Is there a motion to approve? Ms. Patrica?
Move that we approve Attorney Quick's recommendation for referral of specific complaints for investigation as listed in the agenda.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Ms. Fisher? Okay, is there any discussion? Any discussion? Seeing none, I will call for the vote. Please record your vote.
Madam Chair, motion carries 7-0.
Thank you, Ms. Thomas. Motion carries 7-0.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
may I ask the attorney, I have a motion that I would like to make, and is this the appropriate time to do that?
We're going to do that in good of the order, I believe, for the website?
No.
Oh, okay. Mr. Bruno?
I'm not sure what motion it is.
Right. Is it fine for me to make a motion at this point?
Is it relevant to this agenda item?
No, it's not.
Then I would wait till good of the order.
Okay.
Okay. Next on the agenda is board member comments. Ms. Giovanelli?
Yeah, so I think we have to, this is the question. Do we pull the motion from the table, the one that was tabled regarding the website?
So you do need to pull that motion from the table.
I have to, hang on. I will do that when I do the good of the.
That's all. I just want to make sure that doesn't get, because I think there was some confusion, so I just wanted to make sure there was clarity on that. I was going to ask Dr. Atkins to check on the bathroom issue regarding the little girl, because that's actually not the first time I've heard that. I just really had a hard time believing it, that people couldn't go to the bathroom because not because they have masks on. I don't really understand that whole thing, and whether there's limitations on teachers allowing students to go to the bathroom. So now a parent came and spoke about it, so I would like for you to really look into that. And then I want you, since Mr. Wise is here, that wasn't mentioned earlier, is if you could address the Acceleration Academy and give us another update on that, because obviously he maybe didn't get to hear what we talked about yesterday, so maybe you can shed some light on that for us. Thank you.
Mr. Bruno? You had your hand up?
Dr. Atkins, would you like to address it, or would you like me to?
Well, I can give you an update as I know, and then just fill in beyond. Yesterday, when I learned of this, actually on Friday, I did contact Dr. Spiro at that point and had a discussion with him and asked him to look into the matter and make contact. And I believe he has done that. My understanding is that we have a meeting with the two legal teams set up on Friday, and the hopes is at that point that we can move forward. So that's what I know at this point, and maybe Ms. Dupree-Bruno knows a little bit more about the legal matter that was of concern. But from Dr. Spiro and myself, this is something that we do want to address our dropout situation here in Lee County. We felt this was a good opportunity to do so, and that's why we were moving it forward.
So the only thing I would add is that the legal team is taking a look at this. There are some concerns with regards to charter schools and whether or not there should be a charter school. So there's some additional discussions that we're having, and we should have a response by Friday to determine which direction that we will advise the district to move forward on.
Okay, so then I'll finish my conversation. I'll finish my good of the order. Okay, so that being said, this school, this Acceleration Academy, I went and visited the one in Sarasota, and it's not a charter school. There's Miami, St. Lucie, and the data is success. So I know it's even nationwide. There's one in Las Vegas, and they're doing so well. And I think it would be prudent for us to move forward with this. So I am excited that Dr. Atkins has done that, because I think that this is a great thing. And I don't understand where the charter school came in, because this has been an ongoing work in progress for, I thought somebody said 3 years, but I think it's been longer than that, because these other schools, the data is there, the success rate is there, and every day that we don't do this, we're losing children to whatever is going on in our community and society and the world, that takes them away from being a successful person with a diploma. So it's vital that we get this going, and so the sooner the better, because I think it does take a little bit of work to get it going, and selecting teachers and staff, and so a place, a facility, and everything. I think it's important to know that it would be part of Lee County, not a charter school. Therefore, the funds would come through Lee County, and we get to keep some of that funds and educate children that have been out in the world for probably a year or so on their own and not with a diploma. So I just think that it will be a great legacy for you, Dr. Atkins, because I think that it will reach and touch many students that we did not otherwise. So thank you.
Mr. Giovanelli, are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Patrica?
I just have a couple questions. Dr. Atkins, when you bring the equal opportunity schools issue back to the board for briefing, could you answer the question, how do we close achievement gaps unless we engage in programs like this? I see that as, one of our goals, and,
Yes.
and I see this as a step in that direction. Attorney Dupree Bruno, when Dr. Atkins brings that back, could you address paragraph 14 in that contract and opine as to whether that paragraph insulates us from any kind of relationship or influence from the organizations that support equal opportunities program? You understand the question?
Yes.
All right, I think, as I read that paragraph, I think it insulates us from that, but I would like confirmation of that. Finally, I'd like to say that I have significant lack of comfort with a vendor appearing before the board at a public meeting. In all my years on the board, I've never seen that happen. Vendors' relationships are supposed to be with staff, not with the board. Dr. Atkins, could you provide us with the correct number of students that we're dealing with here? Not now, just in a board update. The number that was provided by the vendor, I've been told is inaccurate, so I'd like some accurate information surrounding that. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wait a minute. I'm sorry. Last thing. I understand that some counties have had success, but other counties in Florida are also terminating their relationship at the end of the agreement. So just in terms of balance and understanding on this, I think that was an important piece of information for us to consider. Those are my comments. I'm really done now. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Fisher?
Yes, I'm just going to piggyback on that before I begin my comments. What I would like to have part of the information that we get when you come back to us with this is a little bit more data about the impact of the Equal Opportunity School involvement and some success rates. I tried to search it online but couldn't find too much information, although I do see that they operate in many districts around the country. So that being said, May is also Mental Health Awareness Month from May 1st to the 31st. It's observed in the United States by media, local events, and film screenings. Mental Health Awareness Month began in the United States in 1949 and was started by the Mental Health America organization. Coincidentally, it is also National Prevention Week, which is an annual health observance dedicated to increasing public awareness and action around substance use prevention and the promotion of positive mental health. This year, this National Health Initiative, sponsored by the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, takes place this week, May 9th to 15th. And you can take the National Prevention Week 2021 Prevention Challenge by texting #PreventionHappensHere. I really appreciate the speakers who take the time out of their evenings and away from their families to come and share with us their opinions and feelings. I respect and appreciate all the different opinions, and I think it's very important for us to hear that balance. I wanted to share a letter that I received from a retired educator. As a retired educator, I urge you to support youth in our schools by upholding and supporting Best Practices Guide. And that is what the poster is. It's a guide, not a policy. Included in that guide is our non-discrimination policy, which defines our responsibilities under the law. Why is it that some feel that rights only pertain to themselves and their beliefs? Disinformation, fear, misunderstandings, and loud voices should not rule the day nor your decision. Lee County is legally required to protect and meet the unique needs of LGBTQ as well as other marginalized and minority people. This guide provides clear procedures for schools so that faculty and staff can follow existing policies and current laws, and I just wanted to share that. Monday night, we had our curriculum advisory meeting, and the curriculum advisory committee works hard to advise the board and continues to work on a strong academic curriculum leading to both career and technical majors. We had on Monday night no quorum, so we had an informal meeting. However, they did continue on and reviewed our best standards and the plans for next school year, and also opportunities for expanded learning. I wanted to piggyback again on the Family Initiative Award that was awarded to our consultative teacher, Donna Jerf. I think it was probably about 27 years ago that she and I attended a training at the Center for Autism-Related Diseases in Tampa, and she has been a champion all through the years and has designed assessments for children who couldn't handle the regular assessment, and she has helped families through many difficult times, so she certainly, definitely deserves that award. I want to thank, again, all of our superintendent, his executive staff, all of our staff, for their efforts in working with our parents and students. And parents, you are our partners in your child's education. So I wouldn't want for any one of you to think you're just a parent. You're a very important part of this business. And finally, I want to appreciate my colleagues on the school board, and I've enjoyed hearing about your visits and attending events, as I have been not quite up to par and haven't been able to physically get out to a lot of that, but I am working diligently to get back on track. And with that, I am blessed to serve with you, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Fisher. Ms. Gittens?
Okay, I'll leave that till later. The good stuff, the happy stuff. First of all, thank you all who take the time to get dressed and get in your car and drive here, even when we're hearing of impending gas shortage. It's not happening. Don't go out to the gas station yet. But thank you for coming. And, you know, I thought about how many in the last several meetings, how many people have spoken before us. And sometimes unfortunate situations have good outcomes because we have more people participating in the education of our students in Lee County than we've had in quite some time. My ask of you is that this participation continues, not for a single element or something that you feel very strongly about, but I would hope you would take that effort and energy and feel strongly about educating all children all the time in every way that is necessary. So thank you for coming. Please continue to come, even if you don't have a card already laid out with what you have to say. The students, the children, the board, we need to see that you're a part of what we're doing. We can't do this alone. We shouldn't do this alone. And two happy things. I went to, Ms. Patrica was invited as well. We went to the Estero High School Senior Awards Night. And just to give you a couple of the claims to fame for them is they I think there was one, they received almost $1 million in certain scholarships. The community sponsorships, and I think Ms. Patrica mentioned earlier the Estero Council, and I can't remember all the other, chamber and a few other groups that contributed to the tune of $1.2 million. Seniors earned over $2.8 million in scholarships, and the total Estero High School class of 2021 has banked, drum roll, $4 million. So we've got students that are really on their way to do big things. The best times of this job are with children. And even in the time of COVID and not being able to be there and, you know, see their little faces and all. So I did reading a book by Zoom to a class at Mirror Lakes. And Ms. Pusey, I think it's pronounced Pusey, sent the thank you letters from the kids. And I just want everyone to smile, so I'll read them. Dear Ms. Gittens, thank you so much for the fun read aloud. We love participating in this event. Ms. Schuler's second grade class. And the other one, dear Ms. Gittens, thank you for reading a book to us on Zoom during the Read Across America. We enjoyed hearing I Am Enough. We liked when you stopped and asked us questions. It was fun waving our arms and pretending to fly with you. We hope you can read to us again. Sincerely, Miss Searcy's second grade. So hi to all of you, and thank you for listening, and I will be back and read again. That's it, until I have another thing.
This is the good of the, this is your good of
This
the
is
order.
when I can
Yep.
do the good of the order or my motion?
No, this is for, yeah, the website.
Okay, I'll do the website first. I'm going to move over to the other side so you can see it. But we're bringing forth, first of all, I need to do, hold on. Okay, I need to make a motion to take from the table the motion to approve the website. We had made a motion previously about the, this is about the superintendent, the interim superintendent website. And it was an idea, way to include the community, to take you along with us on this journey, to allow you the opportunity to give some input as well. So I will show it to you in a second, but I first need to move to remove the table on the motion for the website.
Okay, so we're.
Just to clarify, Ms. Gittens, just to clarify, you want to move to take from the table the motion?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Do I need to repeat it, or are we okay?
No, Ms. Thomas have it?
You need a second?
I second.
Second, Ms. Patrica?
No discussion? Just go
Sorry,
to the
what did you
vote.
just say?
Take a vote.
No discussion, go to the vote.
Okay, can we have a hand vote on removing it? Perfect.
Okay, and now I would just, oh, sorry.
I was just saying 7-0.
And now I'd like to make a motion to move forward with the regular motion that we had originally to provide the webpage for the superintendent, interim superintendent search.
So a motion for the approval of the website for the interim superintendent.
The webpage, make sure it's clearly the webpage.
Second.
Second by Ms.
Point of
Giovanelli.
order, why do we need another motion when we already have a motion on the table?
I was
It's the same motion that's on the table. She's repeating the motion, which is to approve the website.
It was tabled, so we had to.
We took it off.
So
the
that's the
table.
motion that's
The
on.
motion that's on the floor right now.
Right.
So now we have discussion.
Did we get a second?
Oh, you're going to do that? Yes.
Yeah, I
we did.
second it.
Okay.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, we have discussion.
Yes, and I can
We're going to go over there
here
and
really
share.
quickly.
Point of order, we don't.
I don't know who, I don't have it in front of me who had seconded it the first time. Basically, the motion was taken off the table. It's the motion that's there, and now we're just going into discussion. She wants to be able to show the website.
I understand, but, I mean, when we do superintendent and attorney recommendations, we don't have shows. I mean, we've already talked about this and looked at the website and provided input. It's a matter of discussion and vote at this point.
We saw it today.
And we,
If the board is inclined to move forward without, seeing the website, we can move forward, but any other discussion and the vote, it's up to the board.
Up to the board.
Well, may I ask a question?
Yes, please, Ms. Gittens.
Okay, part of just showing it was to have on record what's there to inform the public that it's out there and some of the, just a couple of the aspects. I'm not going to take 30 minutes.
Okay.
When else do we show them what we are going to
Gittens,
have?
I think that, can we please take consensus on,
just go.
let her, I think that,
Yeah.
please.
Yes, please show us.
Go ahead and do, yes,
Are we-
please.
okay.
Yes.
All right, just very quickly, what the purpose of it basically is to allow the public to know what we're doing as we go through the process. I'm not going to go through each and every page, but you will see interactive pieces here that talk about seeking the interim superintendent and all of the process that's involved with that, and just tells a little bit about the second thing is the process, that we will select a consultant, which we've already done, advertise the position, and I believe, Ms. Vaughn, that's already happened, correct?
Correct.
The advertisement has already been done to set up individual interviews, select finalists, conduct the finalist interviews, and appoint the interim. And having this webpage will allow everyone an opportunity to follow that process. In the important dates, you will see when we have meetings, and we placed the PC, means public comment, so that you would know beforehand that these are the meetings that you can attend and have an opportunity to speak. And how to get involved. This is the important part for the public, and you can click on these. It will take you to watch whatever meetings we're having, view the agendas, and email the office. Well, before I get to that one, the keep track of dates, if you click on that, and it has instructions how you can connect this to your cell phone. A lot of people don't use the computer, they use their cell phone a lot. So you can connect this and be kept up to date on your cell phone. On the emailing the board office, and this is the part that we agreed upon today, the public will be able to make their comments. This is not like Facebook or some of the other applications where you'll see what everyone is saying. It will go directly to the board portal, and we'll be able to see your comments. And once you submit this, right down here, it will come to us, and this is what you will receive. It will say, thank you for taking the time to send us your thoughts and comments regarding our interim superintendent search. Your message will be shared with each board member, and you may receive individual responses from them. We appreciate your participation in this process. So it's not an automatic that one of us is going to comment or respond to you. And this page is the precursor to when we start with the full superintendent search. We will be able to move forward and adjust it and add different things so that you can follow along. I do want to say a very, very large thank you to Laura Howard from our IT department, who took our ideas and put it all together. And Laura, thank you so much, and we will be updating it as we go and changing things like dates, et cetera, as necessary. Are there any questions from the board members about anything?
Is there any other discussion? Other than the one would be, this will be ready to go first thing, right?
We are planning, I spoke with Ms. Stillwell, and our plan is to go live tomorrow morning.
Perfect, thank
So
you.
it will be out there, and it will be a part of the web, leeschools.net. You will see it on there.
And then, thank you. Is there any other questions?
No, thank you.
Okay.
Very good.
Do we have questions from the audience? Public comments?
Mr. Dye?
We can hear you. Ms. Tanner?
Three brief things. One, I really do like the website option. I just wanted to have clarification that the comments that are posted by the public, are those going to be available for the public to view, or are those just going to go into some file that we then later have to spend a lot of money and effort requesting records to be able to see those at our expense and the time and energy of the staff at the school board? And I also wanted to thank you guys for at least considering our request initially to be able to stay in the back of the room. We appreciate that. And I will be making an opportunity to speak with each of you because I think you're wrong about the executive order. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, is there any other comments? Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay, I took my time.
This time?
I just wanted to come up today to say thank you. I believe it is 3 minutes, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can you put my time back? It should be 3 minutes, not 1 minute.
Yeah, so you're speaking on this
This
particular
issue.
You got
We're
it.
talking about the website. Thank
Yes.
you. I got 7 seconds, Gyps, last time. I wanted to say thank you very much for taking the time to go through that and to put all of your effort into it. I've built 4 different websites, and they are time-staking. So to actually go through and take the input and to take the constructive criticism, critique, and the suggestions from your teammates and make that happen in such a quick amount of time, and to take your time to show it to the public, we appreciate that. I think that this is going to be a great tool, and I am under a minute, but I just thank you for my time as well.
Thank you.
May I make a statement real quick?
Ms.
Two things. I made an error. Laura Howard is not in IT. She is in communications. I was told to make sure that I changed that. And then we had a question about, this afternoon we were talking about whether it would go to the board office, to, I can't remember the 3 things. The board, would you like to share that?
Who are you speaking to?
Thank you. We're just in communications wanting clarification on where you would like the comments to go. I know there were several options discussed, whether it would go to all of your inboxes, whether it would go to the board office email, and then from there sent to all of you, or whether we would just create a Google form that you would have access to that you can peruse at your convenience.
So may I ask, is that an addition to the motion now? Because are we changing?
Well, the motion is to approve the website and to have it go live.
Okay.
I think this is a technical question in terms of that comment section as to, do you want it to go to the board office, go to the board members, or you want it in a Google Drive? I think this afternoon, not a Google Drive, a document. I think this afternoon, that's what you were talking about, was a document?
Yes.
I do believe that's what the board had said this afternoon, was a document.
Ms. Stillwell had come up and spoke with us regarding that document.
Okay, just as for your information, the document won't be in real time. So as the comments come in, we actually have to manually update the form because it comes in through an Excel sheet. So as long as you're aware that it's not coming immediately to that form, then we can do it that way.
So, may I ask?
Yes, go ahead.
So which version would let us see as things come in? Would it be better to go to the board office, because the subject line will say superintendent search webpage, would that make it easier? And can we still get the spreadsheet if it's done that way?
Yes, we can still keep all the information in a spreadsheet, but the way it comes in through the website is via an Excel sheet that we would then convert into a Google form. So we can populate it daily. It won't take very long, but it won't be in real time. So if someone sends you something at midnight, you're not going to get it until we're able to populate the form the next day.
Is there a way to do that immediately?
I'm going to have.
In speaking with Laura this earlier today, that is not. That's why I was wanting to clarify that for you.
Okay. Ms. Vaughn, you have a question?
Yeah, I have a comment. We need to make this as simple as possible so staff doesn't have to daily populate something. Remember, this is our interim superintendent page. We will obviously be making changes for the next phase. So we're talking about 2 weeks here. And I think we're getting way too complex with the spreadsheet and all of that. It was my understanding when we first started talking about this, and I don't understand why we have 2 places where the public can email. Why not just have the logo, and have it go not board office, but board members? And that way, it goes to all of us, not our board secretaries who will have more put on them. And down below, you know, people know how to find the board. By and large, people know how to find the board members to individual, you know, email individually. I just think we're getting way too complicated. Everything else is great about this, but I think it's complicated for the public. Shall we email an individual, or that's the part I have a problem with.
Go ahead, Ms. Gittens.
Okay, and they're not going to have the choice. The choice is when they hit submit. The question we're talking about now, when they hit submit, where is it going to go? And we talked initially about it going directly to a different website, and some of you said you didn't want that, which would make it easy. It would just go to this, not website, but email, and we would just all be able to see it, rather than having to have someone do anything to it.
Okay, I guess can we,
I don't think that's
could we be at an agreement then for everything to go to board members, and then it goes to everybody? And that's it? Then that removes that person putting information, having to put information in, that removes the secretaries or them from doing anything. It just automatically goes to us. Ms. Giovanelli?
I would agree. That was the question I raised earlier, was how much staff time would it involve? And whatever's the least staff time involved is what needs to happen, is my concern.
I agree.
And so whatever best for staff.
Then Ms. Gittens, that would have been which one? That would have been just going to the board members, period, correct?
Well, and is it just going to be board members? Because this is a behind-the-scenes piece. The public is just going to hit submit, and then it's going to go where?
Go wherever the board would like. So if you would like it to land in each of your individual inboxes, we can do that.
Is that difficult to set up?
It is not.
So if we do that, then it takes away all of it. It has a subject line that says interim superintendent. We know when we get an email that that's what it is.
Correct.
Is that clear to everyone?
Yeah, we can.
Yes. So can we, do you have another question?
I was just going to say, we can set up our own folders.
Yeah. So if that's acceptable for everyone, that it just will automatically, staff doesn't have to be concerned with it, it just automatically comes to the members, period. Is that okay with this? If it is, then did you have something else to add to that?
I just wanted to ask, can you possibly send us the instructions on setting up a folder so it just comes in and goes out? We can just, it goes there automatically. There's
I know
a-
what she's talking about, yes.
There's just a
How
way
to
that
do
you just set it up, that when it comes in, it goes into a folder.
We would need
And
to-
maybe someone in IT can just send us those directions. If we want to do it, fine. If we don't, then fine.
She's right, yeah.
Okay,
I
sure.
lost the stuff
I
like
can
that.
connect with IT.
Thank you.
With you there. So could we please then go ahead and take the vote on this? All in favor of moving with the motion that Ms. Gittens had put before us? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, 7-0. Okay, Ms. Gittens.
Okay.
Something else?
I had a motion. Has everyone finished?
Yep, it's 7-0. That's where.
No, I mean with their comments. Do I do that now?
Your times, and then we'll move on to
Oh, okay.
to everybody else.
Okay, I would like to make a motion to amend a motion that we already have that talks about the search firm for the permanent superintendent. And I don't know if it's an amendment or an addition to it that would say that the search firm for the permanent superintendent would be different from the one for the interim superintendent search, and that the selection will be open to all applicants, not just those selected by the board. So the motion is that we add to that selection, to that motion, that we only, that the search firm be different from the interim search firm, and that the selection be open to a broader spectrum of people.
Okay, so there is a motion on the floor. Is this an appropriate motion?
Just to make sure, your motion is that, because I don't know if we had a motion about the search firm yet. So can you restate your motion, please?
Well, I thought we did. We discussed it. Was it just consensus? It wasn't a vote?
You have a workshop on Friday that you're going to be talking about. Now you're really going to be talking about the permanent search and the national search and the criteria is for the firm and all of that good stuff. That's going to be on Friday.
So, okay, well, I still would like to make that motion, and are you saying that I can't do it until Friday, or?
No, the motion that you want to make is what specifically?
The specific motion is that when we begin to choose a consultant for the permanent superintendent search, that it not be the same as the interim search consultant, and that it be open by open application to anyone not selected by the board.
So one thing that the board had decided by consensus was that you were going to use a national search firm. So that was decided. Now, you haven't taken any formal votes on that because you haven't gotten to that part of the process, but you did take a consensus on that whenever this first came up. My recommendation, Ms. Gittens, would be let's wait to see how the discussion develops on Friday, to see, because you still have to talk about the criteria for your search firm. I mean, there's other things that you want to talk about, and I know that it's going to be on the agenda on Friday.
Well, the comment I wanted to make about it, my concern arose when one of the conversations, I don't know which one it was, but one of our colleagues asked when discussing the permanent superintendent, the question was, can we change our vote about having the interim be the other? And the question was, can we change that? And your answer was yes. I'm very concerned about this process and certain unspoken plans or whatever that may be happening and not discussed with everyone. So I will be watching very carefully to make sure the process remains fair, equitable, and transparent to all. And I just hope that my colleagues would agree that we involve the community with the search committee and all those types of things as well. I don't feel like we're being really transparent on some things. So that's my concern. If you feel that we should wait until Friday, I'll wait till Friday to make the motion.
Could I,
Friday will be a workshop, so will be consensus, but just like we did last time, you know, the matters that have to be voted on will come back to an action meeting so you can take your formal vote. But you're just starting to talk about the national search firm and the criterias and how you want to go through that process. So I would recommend just waiting till Friday and see how the board feels and which direction you want to go.
May I finish?
yes, because, and I think Ms. Vaughn had a question for you.
Okay. I am still not sure why all of these meetings can't be, goodness, not workshops, but briefings or something of that sort. We still can discuss and ask questions at briefings, but it allows the public to be able to speak. When we have a workshop discussing these things, even though we take consensus, it's not including the public. And I just feel that this process should be done in briefings. We still can discuss, so I just want to lay that out there.
And I will tell you, we will definitely be having briefings for this, for that main reason, just so that you.
Well, she said it was a workshop.
No, Friday's a workshop, but going forward, we have multiple meetings coming before us. Ms. Vaughn?
Yeah, I just had, I guess it's a question, comment, or something Ms. Gittens needs to think about between now and Friday. We don't have a search firm right now, so it's. All right, so that's why your motion that you said is going to wait till Friday is very confusing to me, because why are we going to say it has to be a different person or firm when we don't have a search firm right now? That's what I don't understand. It makes no sense to me.
May I answer?
Yes, please.
Because my concern is that the board will switch to say, this firm is doing well, they already know us, let's keep this firm. So I want to bring that up now, that it needs to be different in my impression. I just wanted to put that out.
The gentleman, that the consultant is not a firm at all, so he will not be in the running for that at all. Mr. Bruno?
I was just going to clarify, at this point, the only thing that the board has done was set up a process for the interim superintendent and hired a facilitator to help with the discussions for that interim superintendent. The board has not hired a firm yet, but the board did make a decision the board did take a consensus that they wanted to have a national search firm, so someone who had that broad brush to be able to look, you know, throughout the country to find a candidate, but you haven't gotten to those discussions yet. Yeah. I think those discussions will start on Friday.
And I understand that, but I also said, I want it on record that I know things do change. And so I just wanted to put that out there. And I know we don't have the group yet, but as we're thinking about it, please keep that in mind.
Thank you for that. Ms. Giovanelli, did you have a question?
And I'll be real quick. I think what Ms. Gittens is really trying to say is that we don't have the public trust. So she's trying to solidify the public trust, and by addressing this publicly, and know that we are going to listen, we are going to ask questions, we want you to participate as a stakeholder, and so we are going to push for that. And she tried, that was what she's attempting to do. So I commend you for that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Gittens?
No, I'm
do you
fine.
have anything else?
I will withdraw it on council's recommendation that it's on the record.
Okay. Thank you for that. Did you have any other comments?
No, that's it. Just, again, I'll say thank you, Ms. Laura Howard from Communications.
Perfect. Thank you. And thank you for assisting with this and putting this together. Ms. Vaughn?
Yes, thank you. Several comments. First has to do with the public comment tonight. As always, we welcome all of you to come and speak to us. There's one thing that has bothered me since the beginning of this, whereas everyone has a right to his or her own view, his or her own religion, etc. I feel that it's been extremely hurtful to our LGBTQ community at large, and also to our children when some of the speakers, and it's your right, God bless the USA, it's your right to do it, but I'm just going to say that I find it very hurtful when people talk about things like dismissing the children that are gay or trans, in saying, well, everybody has some rough part in their childhood, so get over it, or this is only political correctness. No, it's human rights we're talking about. People that talk, that they're not even insinuating, they're flat out saying that our teachers are indoctrinating our children, that this is child abuse. I don't understand how showing a picture of a child with two moms to a group of students who might very well, because of today's society, might very well have friends of their own with two moms or two dads, or maybe one mom, or maybe auntie or grandma. But we don't have, it is not Leave It to Beaver time, and we don't have the 1950s mom at home wearing pearls and doing the dishes and dad, the 1950s view. We have all kinds of families out there. Our children are part of all kinds of blended families and all of these things. And I'm not telling you don't have a right to say that. I'm just saying, you probably don't care, but it really does bother me to hear things said in this auditorium that are hurtful to a large community and also our children that are part of that community. Secondly, on a happier note, I'm going to add another May is, and May is also Haitian Heritage Month. And this is an important month for me. I've been involved with Haitian American Community Coalition for more than 5 years now. And the Haitian heritage children make up a very large percent of our ELL population. And in another, hopefully by the next meeting or, by next week, I have been the scholarship chair for 5 years. We have, again, a group of amazing, amazing Haitian heritage senior students from Lee County. So we're going to be announcing our $1,000 scholarship winners. There'll be 4 of them again this year. So I just wanted to point out, I guess May is a very popular month for recognitions of different cultures. Finally, I want to go back to something that Ms. Giovanelli said, and also one of our speakers pointed out, Dr. Wise. I'm going to kind of lump together the idea of the what was tabled this evening, because there was, the EOS, because there was really not a good board briefing on that, and I thank Dr. Atkins for pulling it back and for offering to put forth a lot more information, because I think we as a board need to be able to discuss, well, what do we have right now that does, at least in part, what the EOS does. And as a matter of fact, I think we can do it way better without spending over $250,000. So I felt in the dark on that. And I'm also very much in the dark on what happened with the Acceleration Academy. So it's another issue that comes out of helping our children and helping children who have been identified as dropouts and getting them back into school, because we are, as a school district, we are a prime economic driver for this community. And if we can pull young people back into our schools and get them to graduate, have a diploma, it's going to be a win-win-win for the kids, for the school district, and for the community. And the interesting contrast between these two academic programs is that the Acceleration Academy wasn't going to cost us any money. As a matter of fact, it might even pull money into the district. I know about the program. I learned about it actually for the first time several years ago, and yes, I learned about it from the vendor. My understanding is that Lee County School District was, if you'll excuse my showing, just this close to coming to an agreement on Acceleration Academy, when all of a sudden it was like the rug was pulled out from under all the negotiations. And, you know, one thing that came to me was, well, it said that the vendor was bullying or pressuring school board members. As a matter of fact, I think Ms. Patrica referenced that and how distasteful it was to her. And yet, yesterday at our workshop, when it was brought up, 4 of the 7 of us who have met this vendor said, I never felt pressured. And I was one of them. I never felt pressured. I don't understand what happened to it. I'm not saying I'm going to vote for it or not, but I want to find out more about it. I want to find out how the negotiations went. I want to know why it wasn't brought to all of us as a board, and I want to know if a couple board members perhaps had more influence on this matter, and why is the legal team looking at this? Okay, this inquiring mind wants to know those things. I'm not going to ask for the answers right now, but I want to know why, A, we have 2 academic programs that were not adequately briefed to us, and secondly, why it comes all of a sudden to us, to our knowledge, that this one program was so close to being accepted, and then all of a sudden turn around on a dime, and we have at least one person saying how distasteful the vendor was toward us as a school district. I have no knowledge of that. So it's late, can't discuss it now, but I will be following up on that tomorrow. So those are my comments, and thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Did you want to, were you going to say something, Dr. Atkins?
Well, just that in terms of Acceleration Academy, we have talked about it. I brought that to you a while ago, that we were moving in this direction. Now, in terms of what happened last week, I don't know myself. And so I told you what I know of it, and you and the other, what I did do was take action so that we could hopefully resolve it, and that's why you have the meeting on Friday with the attorneys. So beyond that, you know as much as I do.
Thank you.
And that I'll just add, it's kind of sad that the superintendent doesn't know anything either on this.
Well, because I think it was...
No, I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying I'm not blaming you. I'm just saying somebody has to know what happened, and I will be following up on it individually. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Vaughn. Thank you, Dr. Atkins. Ms. Morgan?
Given the hour, I'm going to make one comment, and that is that I am just so grateful for the grants department, the schools in the district that continue to look for opportunities to support our kids in individual schools with programs. And
Ms. Morgan, could you speak into the microphone?
want to celebrate the $9 million Magnet School Assistance Program grant. And I want to celebrate the grant staff, the school staff, and the district staff who continually look for opportunities to fund programs for our kids. This one was one of 9 awarded nationally. It will take the Franklin Park I-DARE program to phase 2. There will be new programs at South Fort Myers High School and James Stevens International Academy. Every year, we continue to land really extraordinary opportunities, whether they are academic, extracurricular, STEM. And I think that nationally, we are being viewed as an organization that's doing good stuff for kids. We are clearly accountable we are being viewed as a district that measures what we are doing. We hold people accountable for the funds that we're investing in our programs so that other grant programs feel comfortable giving money to the Lee County School District. And I think that's cause for great celebration. We have come so far as a district that, at the national level, we are looked at as a worthy recipient of in excess of, just this year, $9 million in grant money for 3 schools. So congrats to the leadership and to all of the staff who participated in collecting the information and putting the grant proposal forward. Those are my comments.
Thank you, Ms. Morgan. And I gave my comments yesterday, and I gave them this morning. I do want to thank Attorney Quick for being here this evening and helping us all, being here today with us, so I do appreciate that. And I have to give 2 shout-outs. My grandson's receiving his first letter in high school tonight, so I'm sure that I'll be seeing pictures of that. And my other grandchild, it's her birthday today, so celebrating that too in my heart. So moving on, because I think this is really important work and we all need to be here and do what we have to do. Ms. Dupree Bruno, do you have any comments for this evening?
No, I do not. Thank you.
Okay. Dr. Atkins?
None this evening, thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Jordan?
Oh, I'm sorry, Ms. Giovanelli?
I just want to actually, I want to defend Dr. Atkins because he brought up in our 101, he brought up the Acceleration Academy over probably in the last at least 6 months that I'm aware of. And also he brought it up probably a few months ago in a board meeting. He mentioned it. That's when it came back on my radar, those 2 times. So I've been waiting actually patiently to see where this was going to go with the Acceleration Academy. So I think, sometimes we in our one-on-ones we might forget, or but I just want to say that I know 2 instances that this did come back up from him. So regarding what happened last week, I'm sure he's going to get to the bottom of that, and we'll have answers. But I want to commend the district for acknowledging and owning the fact that we have a significant high dropout rate or students, and that we're going to address it, and this is the answer to that. So it's commendable, because it's actually things that I talk about all the time. It's taking ownership of a deficiency and making a correction and for a better outcome for our students, and that's all it is, and that's how we move forward, and we can do this as a board, and I'm excited for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Giovanelli. Okay, the next scheduled meetings of the board, on Monday, May 24th, there will be a school board workshop at 1 p.m. On Tuesday, May 25th, there will be a briefing meeting at 1 p.m. and an action meeting at 6 o'clock. At this point, having no further business to come before this body and seeing no objections, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Good night and be safe.